Thanks for tuning in to Fully Erect. We had a great show tonight with Robin and Trace Arnold. They own Hilltop Storage and many other things. That's why I want you to get into this and watch this podcast. We need you to watch it. It's spectacular. We got into marriage, relationships, taking an RV all over the country, and much more. We hope you'll tune in and hope you enjoy this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had your house, and then how many acres?
60.
So you have 60 acres. That's where you're using. Okay.
Yeah.
So he decided.
So park the idea, and we go back to work, and so it's what 2008, 9, whatever happened there. Right brand. I mean, all those things happened.
Yeah.
And then the History Channel tour. But in 2017, when they announced the second neighborhood across the other street.
This is across the road.
I said it's go time.
Pond Square. That's when
So
we said
I
we're
pulled
building.
all my paperwork out. None of it was any good. I had to start all over. And there's where Hilltop Storage Solutions was.
Because that's your
Come
land.
to
You can do
life.
whatever you want to it, right?
Yeah, you
And the
think-
beautiful thing is that because of where our property is situated, we are considered rural Denton County. And so we technically don't even have to have permits to build anything. I mean, it's
No, you have to through the county.
well, you have to have it through the county, but I mean, we don't have to follow the city of North Lakes ordinances and things like that because we're technically considered rural Denton County.
So what did you do? Just started storages?
We built RV and boat storage.
Yep.
And
that's
how
what we
many
started.
of them?
We have about 200 covered and about 150 open. About
Okay.
350
So
total.
And so a lot of people, it's monthly. They pay
Yep.
monthly.
They pay monthly, and it's full.
And after a couple of years, that's 18, we started in January of 18, we opened in October 18. And by 2020, we were getting close to being full, but to the
Yeah.
point to where there was not a lot to do. And Robin was working there with Trooper, and I'd always wanted to do a grill store.
Okay.
Because I'd done a grand opening for one about 2006, 7. And so we built a grill store. So now we have Hilltop Grill Shop.
And what's involved in that?
Barbecue grills, gas grills,
Smokers,
charcoal,
any
pellets,
seasonings,
wood, seasonings,
spices,
rubs.
yeah.
And so you're there every day retailing that? Like it's
Well,
a retail?
the kids are.
Oh, they
Kids
are?
Yeah.
Kids run the business.
They run the whole thing. They run the storage and they run the grill store.
What
They
made
own the
y'all wanna
storage.
step
Okay.
away?
Well, I'm a little.
How did you go from your? Because I think you're a very hands-on guy. I think you're. What's reminding me right now, my brother Lee always has a saying of adapt and overcome, and I think that is you.
Well, Robin.
You have made the best out of
Robin-
every situation when you could.
Robin was in there because I was actually doing another full-time job.
Yeah, he
and
had-
I was the orchestra. I did all the construction and all that, and interpreted all that. But Robin was in there, and she had Trooper, and then he was 18, 19 at the time, young, you know. But
Kinda
she was
worthless.
being mom. She was running the business and treating him like her son. And I grew up in a family business. I know what it looks like. It's like fire, go get water. You know?
Yep.
You put the fire out.
Yep.
And so it's trial by fire. That's the way I was raised. That's the way I was taught. You learn how to do it. She's not gonna. If there's a fire there, and I told my mother there's a fire, she wouldn't say the water's over there. She said figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's the way I was raised. And so I knew that we had to make some changes. We had to get her out because she was being too mommy and not businessy. And so he jumped, put him in there trial by fire. We
Yeah,
stayed
he
there
did
with
it.
him. We had wheels
Yeah.
on and we had safety measures. But it changed his whole
I agree.
mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that we didn't decide to step back. It just became necessary because there were maybe too many chiefs, and Trooper is the one that said, I got it. So we said, okay.
Well, I
let's-
wanted him to have it.
let's watch
He needed to know it, and he needed to figure it out. And he's
'Cause
still learning.
did he have a scholarship or something? Was he going to
No.
play football somewhere?
No,
and then or
uh-uh.
he changed his mind? or-
He never wanted to go. He never wanted to play. Neither one of the boys wanted to play football after school. Tanner would have been the only one that. I mean, he had schools reach out to him, but every time I'd ask him about it, he said no.
So it was just
I'm not
kind of a
interested."
natural progression for y'all to.
And then
My son
Tanner-
either.
Tanner
My
went to
son
trade
either.
school.
Tanner went to trade school, and I knew he was 20, I think 19 or 20, and I said, yeah,
He's 20.
he's not a mechanic. He wanted to be a diesel mechanic.
Yeah, I remember
I was
that.
like, yeah, I know. But I was just happy that he made a decision to do something.
Yep.
Whether it's right or wrong, just go do it. So
Yep.
he did it, and then when we start going pretty good, and we're going to open the grill store, Tanner says, I don't want to come in after you've got it built. I want to be a part of the building. And so he stepped right in and wanted to be a part of it too. So we plugged them both in there, and we just kind of worked with them and got them built up. And now they do the day-to-day to the storage,
Okay.
the grill store, and Hilltop Truck Park.
Yep.
And Trooper and his wife started a secondary business in the truck park, a bar.
They opened a bar.
When we were at the ranch, our
Well,
side.
how do you do that? How do you do all that?
You
Like,
learn
what's
it.
he do? I know what's he doing. He has a bartender. He has
They
a.
have bartenders.
several
So you got to
bartenders.
pay.
They got
Yeah.
several bartenders, and
And so we had started. So we had a shaved ice stand at the ranch. That was my side hustle, and our side hustle, and we named it Trooper's Tropical Snow. And so he kind of grew up watching us do what we do in that Trooper's Tropical Snow. And I told him I wanted this building that we built for the truck park. I really wanted it to be a snow cone stand, a shaved ice stand, a really good one. I mean, like top of the line, tropical snow, the whole deal.
What the boys like? Did you have like?
No, the friction was here because I really just had to sit down and have the hard conversation with her that, it's not that she wasn't needed, she just wasn't needed in that way. And
I know,
It's
but
no
like,
longer-
okay, but like, so you guys, they run everything, and then now you guys do what for your? You just don't.
we just.
Y'all retired? Would
No,
you
no,
consider
no.
yourself
I-
retired?
I would
No,
consider
I'm-
myself retired because
You would?
I would because I don't really have anything.
You don't
that
go
I'm-
there to check on it or to
No.
micromanage or to go to the.
we have a
Oh
lot,
wow!
we have a lot we want to do. Like we're fixing to add 60,000 square feet of conventional storage in September.
On the same land.
Yes, right in
Yes.
front of our office. We
But
have 2 acres.
not part of the same. I mean, the interesting thing is that some of the research that we did shows that a lot of people don't like conventional storage and RV and boat storage together. So the RV and boat storage is situated further back on the property and separated with gates and
And they
high
have to
fences.
actually pull in.
And what it
you-
is,
it's
Oh,
a
road
road.
in with a bar,
most
with,
conventional
key number.
storages have 10 or 20 spaces for RVs.
Mm-hmm.
RV people don't like those typically because there's 300 or 400 of these people, and they're just kind of
Lot of traffic.
a lot of traffic, and their RVs get broken into. They don't
Because
like
this
it.
is for furniture.
Yeah.
That kind of
House goods,
storage.
anything in your
Whatever-
house.
whatever you wanna
Conventional
store in there.
Conventional storage.
Yeah.
That's what you're calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
so-
whatever.
Yeah,
Dead bodies,
and
you
so
don't care.
we have built this completely behind our office. Now we have this field in front of our office. It's going to be an isolated conventional storage. They're not together. They're separate. They're
Okay.
not good. That's going to help fill out Hilltop Storage Solutions.
How many of the conventional storage? How many will you have?
I don't know the number top of my head, but it's 60,000 square feet, so I'd say a couple hundred.
Okay.
And it's
Couple
really
300.
not. I mean, like there's conventional storage below us, down the hill from us, and there's some across
We'll have
the road
climate
from us.
controlled. We'll have we have indoor boat parties.
And it's a gate controlled, like where you put
Oh,
your,
yeah.
your thing in and they
Yeah.
go in.
Yeah.
God, how
Keep it
much,
all
how much,
So
how
you
much
asked what-
acreage do you need to
you
put a
asked
conventional
what-
storage that big? Like how much space do you actually, would you say square feet? How would
10
you?
acres. You need 10 acres.
10 acres.
You can do it at 5, but you need 10.
10's
The
the better
storage
one.
right now is what,
Well, it
12
depends
acres?
on what you're doing. If you're talking about conventional storage, you can go 5.
What made you go RV boat out in Justin, Texas?
Because
What made
that
you think?
neighborhood-
Because
that
you're a
neighborhood
really
was
Because
cool.
happening.
that neighborhood harvest was popping up, and they have neighborhood
HOA, can't
HOAs.
have all that stuff
You
in the
can't
yard.
pull your RV into your neighborhood to load it up to go on a trip.
And y'all knew that everybody around
Oh
has
yeah,
RVs?
we knew both neighborhoods. There's gonna be 8,000 houses within a mile.
Well, the interesting thing
They
is,
needed a place.
what he
Yeah.
said was like when we opened in 18, we were kind of slowly getting full. We knew we were close to Robeson Ranch, so that a lot of older people were over there, and we kind of noticed as we went and RV'd more, we were young for RVers.
Oh yeah.
And y'all
Uh,
were still doing it? Y'all
oh.
were still RVers?
Oh yeah,
And you were going,
And we
just
were-
the two of you?
yeah.
On
We would go to Colorado
romantic
every
getaways?
summer.
Yeah. So what happened was when we bought our fifth wheel, 2 years after we
I
got
don't know
back.
if I'd
Ish.
call it that.
When we got
Ish.
back from our first trip, we bought that fifth wheel. Our kids went to summer camp in East Texas for 2 weeks. And so we would drive them to camp in East Texas, drop them off, go back to the house, get in the RV, and go to Colorado for 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks, 14 days to get in, around, and back home.
Y'all were doing that.
We did it 10
as
years.
so y'all have always been doing this, really?
We did that for 10 years.
Different
I didn't know
time.
that. I don't remember.
Yeah, we went left to right, right to left,
We
up to
do it
middle,
all
left,
over
up
the
middle,
place.
right. So it was her and I.
2
2
nights
weeks,
here, 2 nights here.
every
2 nights
summer
here.
when the kids are at camp. Because I don't typically like to work to smoke.
And what's it like? What was the biggest thing to get used to when you're pulling in those. Okay, so you have to plan, like you said, you have to
You
have
have
those
to
organized.
plan.
But like when you're in there, is it I'm thinking of like the worst case scenario of pulling in there and you see the and you're walking
They're
around
out
and
there.
people. I
So
mean, like, is
Did
that
you ever
the?
go? Did you ever go to the Texas Motor Speedway?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the infield?
Like
In the infield.
inside the track, you know,
Inside
like
the track.
inside
No.
the track where all the RVs
All right,
No.
you can have $1 million bus next to $1,000 school bus,
Okay.
and we're all drinking beer out of the same cooler.
Yeah.
No, I've been where I've
That's
seen all
what
that.
RV parks are about.
They are.
It doesn't matter what
Community.
you drive, where you're from, how much money you make. That billionaire or that millionaire.
But there's no judging going on, and you're
No.
saying there's no like weirdo Tim at the
No.
So
like where you're worried. You know what I'm saying?
No. Kids can
Kids-
run wild.
Really?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can.
You just hear stories. I'm just saying, there's been stories.
no, you're
about,
exactly
At RV
right.
parks?
But I mean,
Well, yeah, where you wouldn't a kid's being kidnapped. You're in your RV. I mean, there was a movie about it. I mean, there's
at an
stuff.
RV park.
Well, yeah. You feel completely
we
safe in an
didn't-
RV
Yeah,
listen,
well-
park.
the ignorance has served us well over the
Well,
years, and
her-
maybe we just didn't pay attention to it. I'm more high alert. I mean, like we stayed in an RV park one time outside of Disneyland in what is it, California? What's the city in there?
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Oh, but it was a big one. It was 400.
It was
400
huge. The
units,
place was huge, and Trace was like, "Let's
concrete.
get a tent and leave the kids outside." And I was like, "Are you drunk? We're not putting our kids outside on the curb."
Come to find out, who was running that RV park was somebody I knew from Justin, Texas. Him and his wife had retired from CoServe, and they were managing that RV park. I knew the people managing it.
It's crazy.
All the way in
Because they
California.
live, the people that manage it, they live on the.
Yeah, they live in RV.
A lot of
They're
times, well, that's a
called-
whole
they're called
different
work
world. They're
campers.
work campers, and that's
So
a whole
if you
different
have
world.
an RV and you say you want to go travel, you can go work at this RV park for a month or the whole. They want you the season. They like you to come for a season, and you can work in the office. Women work in the office. They check people in. They do all the office stuff. All
Yeah.
that. And the men take people to their spots on
Yeah.
golf carts. They
Oh,
do
yeah, that's
plumbing.
true.
They do landscaping. They do whatever.
They just
so
host.
you can work. They're host.
Yeah,
It's
but
called the work camp.
But y'all
thing
keep
is-
going to the same place now.
Yeah, we go to the same,
Well,
but
so-
we're doing something
But
different.
so what
We're
happened
doing a little
was
different.
Oh, okay.
after us being there for 10 or 12 years, going to Colorado in our fifth wheel and going 2 days here, 3 days there, just going all around. I'd asked her for 10 years to ask her sister and brother-in-law would they like to go to Colorado and check this out. She said, they won't want to do it. And she thinks they're all bougie and they are a little bougie, but she said they won't do it. I just, after 10 years, I said, screw it, I'm going to ask them. So we're at a function together, and I said, hey, we go to Colorado this summer, we're going this next year, would y'all like to rent an RV and go? And they looked at each other and went, that sounds like fun. And so they did. They rented an RV, and we took them all around like we
we did the same little
We
run.
And they'll followed each other.
Yeah,
Yep,
we
they
ran
followed us.
together, and we went everywhere, and they had a ball. And so the next year we're going back. I think they bought theirs. by
They
now.
bought an
They
RV.
bought an RV.
They
They,
bought an
got
RV.
so into it they bought an RV. And the next year we said, there's this place in Breckenridge called Tiger Run that we would go to for 2 days. If we were there 2, we wanted 3. If we were there 3, we wanted 4. The weather's phenomenal. It's 78 degrees every day. 80's hot. It's 75 to 78.
And where's that?
In July and August in
Breckenridge.
Breckenridge.
Yeah, Breck.
And so we were all here, and they said, instead of bouncing around everywhere, what do you think about we picked a favorite spot that we like, everybody likes, and we go there the whole 2 weeks. And so
We started doing that.
And so we started talking about Breckenridge. That was what we all chose. We picked that. We liked that the best. And so we get there the next year. We go to Breckenridge, and we're there on day 1. And she and her sister
For 2 weeks.
She and her sister look at each other and go,
We should come back a
we should
month.
come for a month next year. And me and Brad, her husband,
You're like-
we looked at each other like, are you nuts?
Just
I
got
mean,
here.
how are we going to leave for a month? We just got here. We're going to leave for 2 weeks. You want to come next year for a month? How are we going to do that? We're working. We're still all in the middle of everything. And we just kind of looked at each other and went,
Just do
let's
it.
try it.
Did it.
Let's do it.
Now we go for 2
Now we
months.
go for 2 months.
You do?
We go
Yeah.
for 2 months. We go for July and August. We get out of here.
But because your kids run your business.
Yeah.
Correct.
So y'all did it that way. Is there ever any kind of like animosity like with the boys? I mean, do they get along all the
Oh,
time?
yeah.
Yeah, they actually do. It's
Well,
kind of
they
crazy.
do.
They
Or does
fought
each
it out
person
pretty
have
hard in
a-
the beginning.
Did they?
No. I mean, like, as in the beginning of their lives, when they were younger, they fought pretty hard. But now they've got each other's back pretty solid now.
Trooper
Not
had
really,
Trooper had such a head start above Tanner in it. Trooper's become the trainer.
Yeah.
I worked with Trooper for a period of time, got him to where I felt like he was comfortable. after I weaned him off
The
off
tit.
the tit.
Yep.
And I got him in there if he felt good.
On the
And
tit.
so Tanner has he likes to not be a troubleshooter. He just, if there's a problem, he just wants to call somebody and find a solution.
Oh,
And
good.
So it's me, it's her, it's it's Trooper. Now it's just Trooper, and so he gets all the calls. I can't get this light switch off. Trooper's like, try to turn it off. You know, I mean, it's something that simple. I mean, and so now Trooper is working with Tanner to get him self-sufficient,
Yeah.
so he can make decisions and fix things trial by fire. So
Where are they exactly though? Like whose job is what? Like do they? Is it just co-managers? What do you? what
Well,
does that
the
look
interesting thing is that Tanner has developed a little, I don't want to call it a hobby, but he's kind of developed his own little side hustle.
like? Okay.
And so he does a lot of social media content for us.
Oh, good.
He's good.
And so he had traveled with the Smoker a few trips, and that's one thing that's really exciting about the Smoker being back out on the road a little bit, is that Tanner never got that trip on the road. He never got to go experience it. As a little kid, he could go and just run around, but as a grown-up or a young adult, he never really got to experience in the same way that Trooper did. So now he's been able to do that. But
well, let me take you back to
Tanner's a side. He's doing that media stuff.
year one
and
or
he's
two
really good
on the
with that.
Smoker with the History Channel. I told Robin, I said, Trooper's going with me this summer. She said, no, he's not.
He's
I said,
14.
no, he's going. And you're not going to say anything about it. He's going to go.
I'm not asking you.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for this boy to develop, to grow, to learn about people, to learn about money. I
Yeah.
paid him just like I did everybody else. He get a per diem. Everybody gets a per diem a month in advance. So it's $100 a day.
Wow.
So that's three.
So he was making $100 a day at 14.
for per diem.
Just for food.
That's for food.
That's not his paycheck.
And at the time,
That's his costs.
time, Amazon was
Was
out.
just
but
kicking
I
off.
didn't have a clue what it was. This is 2012, and he is got it figured out. How he had a credit card, debit card from her, and so he put the money, get the money in his account, and he was spending his money on crap off of Amazon.
762 pair of CZ earrings is
Packages
what it looked like
were
to
just
me.
coming into the
all
house.
the time, and I'm like,
And
what is
I'm
all
not,
this crap?
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what he's
I
doing.
know.
But when I go back, I hear from the road that they're wanting to stay, not at this hotel, but at this hotel. Trooper is telling them, "I want you to stay at the Embassy Suites because they have a great breakfast and eggs."
So that's what Trooper
and
learned?
he stuff his pockets full of food.
He's
'cause
telling
he
them-
spend his money on crap that's being shipped to the house.
No, so
Yeah.
he could go in there and get himself something to eat.
So he
Yes.
was talking to my crew, these grown men.
He was talking them into changing hotels.
Changing hotels where there's a better breakfast because he could figure out how to
That's
force the
amazing.
day. Yeah. So he learned in this 2-3 months that he went with me. Now she did put her foot down and said he couldn't go to Sturgis.
Yeah,
Because
sorry.
when we left the East Coast and we're headed over towards the West Coast,
You were going Sturgis?
yeah, we
yeah,
went to Sturgis 3 years
they'd
in a
been
row.
in Nashville, and then I met them in New York.
Yeah, and so
And then they were going over to Sturgis, and I'm like, you're not going to Sturgis.
And so I let her off, let her off the hook. He probably didn't need to see all that. And so he did come home.
I haven't been to
but
Sturgis. Is it rough?
It's not.
It's just a lot of partying?
You can get in the rough spot. There are rough spots, but we were in downtown on Main Street, and there's bars and everything all around, motorcycles.
And why
for
do you
miles.
like Sturgis? Because you're a
I
motorcycle rider?
don't.
We don't.
I was
We
doing.
just
I
had
was
to be
working with
there.
the History Channel, and that
You
was a
had to be
stop
there.
for 1 week. We were there for 1 week out of 2. It's a 2-week show, and so you get off into these campgrounds like the Buffalo Chip and some of these private campgrounds. Yeah, it gets a little.
It can
bit.
get weird.
It gets sadistic.
It gets topless.
Yeah, I've watched some
and
of those
naked,
documentaries are a little-
nudity.
Yeah, but I was on Main Street.
But you like your Breckenridge one, the park
Oh,
there.
that's
all your friends. That's
where our
everybody
friends
Well,
there.
so we went back.
So you go 2
so
months?
We went for that 2 weeks, then we went for a month, then we started for 2 months. There's 1 month in COVID. That was the year COVID was,
Yeah.
and everybody started backing out because nobody wanted to travel. I'm like, shit, let's go.
It was so great traveling through
Oh,
COVID
that's
because
great.
nobody was out. I mean, there was no traffic. There was nobody was
And
on the
so
road.
yeah, we go
get
for 2
anywhere.
months. We're fixing
2
to go.
months.
We're going
We
in
leave
about
on
7
the
days.
5th.
And you stay all through August?
Yeah.
All through August, we come over at the end of August.
I have a thing. I don't come back unless it's under 100, and I lucked out every year because I have to come back. I mean, in September,
Yeah.
we come back because, but
So your whole thing is, I'm not coming back until it's under 100.
Because I have work policy on the smoker. I don't work in July and
Yeah,
August
we don't.
in Texas at all. If you want to go somewhere
Oh,
else,
but you do still do the smoker.
I will if it's somewhere
If it's
cool.
somewhere else.
And they say,
But-
come bring it?
Well, here's the thing. The
Well-
smoker had literally been put to bed and had been sitting rather dormant
Yeah.
for 10 years, right?
That's why we
About 10
built
years?
the food truck park, because I wanted it to retire there. But the truck park was so small and the truck was so big that it just was always in the way. And so we just kept going with the food truck park, and I had to pull the smoker, I had to extract it out. Now I'm trying, my barn that it stayed in for 20 years has been consumed by the grill store because it needed storage. So,
Oh,
so I
that's
don't have a
true.
place to park it anymore. So it's sitting out, just kind of rotten. You know,
Oh,
the
no.
weather.
Well,
But I got a call last year from NBC and Peacock, and they wanted me to go do some Big Ten stuff. And so it enabled me, or afforded me the opportunity to rebuild it, repaint it, and do a bunch of work to it.
So you're
Put-
gonna do it?
I put a new.
Oh,
I
you
did it
already
last
did
summer.
that.
It was last year. Last
already
fall.
did that.
I did it last year. But
Was it
now
true?
I'm ramping up for 2026 because it's America's 250th birthday, and there's going to be some big stuff going on. So we're ramping up for that. So if you look
And
at-
where are you taking it?
I'll let
We
you
don't
know
know
when-
yet.
I'll let you know when I know.
Working
So
on it.
what's interesting
Yeah,
about
tell her
that
to
is
come
could
meet
I have
y'all.
can I get an RV and then we could
Travel with us?
Travel.
Yeah.
I get my own though.
Yeah.
I like my own space.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
Oh, you'd
That's
have to.
why you have to get your own space.
And then and travel a little bit with you.
Yeah.
And do my podcast.
Yeah.
oh, you'd have
Yeah.
a ball.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Oh,
be.
in the RV park?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
At
So
Tiger
So
Run,
I'm
it's
gonna- is
hysterical
that where I'm
because
gonna
those
meet the
people up there
coolest
are
people
so
ever?
wild.
Yeah.
Is that in 2026?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm ready. What?
no,
what?
I'm telling you, it's you meet some of the coolest people. Let's take.
No, I'm
Breckenridge.
excited
Take
about it.
Breckenridge for example. You got people from Texas. You got people from Florida. You got people from Michigan. You got people from all over the country
Las Vegas.
in one spot,
And Breck is so cool.
and they're.
But the thing about it is like, do you do a lot of cooking? I mean, like, no, you don't. You've got it figured out. You'd have to give me all the tips of
no,
like
Are you
that.
talking about in the RV or at the RV park?
What the RV park?
You
When
don't
you're
cook in
stationed
the
there,
RV
what are y'all
park?
doing all day? Are you pretty much?
We hiking, riding bicycles. We go. Yeah, we do it
Do
all.
you ever? Do they
Gummies.
have a? Do they have a pool?
Yeah, well, we don't use
We
it.
don't use
they
it.
got creeks and
We
rivers.
go to Glenwood
It's so
Springs
cool,
and we
you
go to
don't-
the
you
spa
just-
there.
But you're
we,
doing something every day.
Oh,
we
yeah.
do something every day, but we also have multiple groups of people there that we know.
Yeah.
So like we.
Are y'all playing card games?
Yeah.
Are you playing
sometimes-
mahjong yet?
All kinds
No,
of
we're not
games.
playing mahjong. We play what do we play? Left, right, center.
Yeah.
Dirty marbles.
Left, right, center is our.
That's the best drunk game ever because it's just not hard. You don't have to count.
But you go to the
don't have
grocery
math,
store,
you
right?
just
When
have
you
to
get
do it the
there, you
dice
then
way.
just one days you need to go to the grocery store.
So
Break,
this
you
friend of
go.
mine started a Wagyu business, and 1 year, about 3 or 4 years ago, everybody there pre-ordered Wagyu from Texas, and I take $5,000 worth of Wagyu meat
You're not kidding?
from
No.
Texas in coolers, and we're going up there, but we stopped in New Mexico, and she told us, you can't have a cooler with anything in it. Bears are in New Mexico. So I had to figure out how to get that cooler inside. But anyway, I take that food up there and deliver it to all these people, and they said, will you come cook it for us?
We don't know
We don't
what
know
to
how to
do."
cook it. We don't. They want to ruin a $500 piece of meat. You know, a
No, of
tenderloin is
course not.
$500, and a steak is $60 or $80, one steak. And so I ended up that summer going around
Cooking
to
at every
everybody's place,
campsite.
and I cooked. We cooked. They had parties. I mean, they didn't just cook for themselves. They'd have 10 or 20
Gatherings,
people.
yeah. It's
All these
crazy.
little 10 or
You
20
did that
people.
last summer?
Nah, it's
That's
2
two
summers
summers
ago, 3
ago.
summers
So
ago.
this summer you didn't do it.
This
Last
past
summer.
summer we cooked quite a bit. Last summer we took
We
a.
kind of scaled back last year.
Well, we took the pizza oven up there and we did pizza parties a couple of
Yeah.
times, and that was fun.
You actually carried the pizza oven with you?
We have a little
Yeah, it's a
mobile
little
one.
mobile one that you
We
can
sell.
take with you. They sell them at the grill shop.
And you should invite the friends you like with you. Are you inclusive or are you exclusive in this deal? Like, what if people, do you kind of have your little group and you don't let anybody in it?
No, we actually,
that's not-
we
no,
actually
that's
throw
true.
it on somebody else in their spot, and we
Yeah.
bring the oven over there and let them invite people, or we invite people. It just goes every scenario.
It's kind of like.
Let me tell you how.
But no, everybody knows how to do
Let me-
this,
wait,
and
let-
nobody's disrespectful.
I got one better.
No,
So
no.
back up to the time that I said we're going to go. The first time we had Brad and Denise in there. There's this, and we don't know anything about this park. We don't know anybody in here because we've only been here for 2 days or 3 days for 10 years. We know nothing.
Yeah, we
I
just know
said,
the
I
weather's
need
nice.
to get this place. I need to understand how this place works. And I see this guy. It's got a bus parked right there, a beautiful spot, and it's got A&M plate, Texas plates with A&M thing around it.
Well, I know,
And I'm
talk to
like,
them.
well, there's an Aggie right there. My brother-in-law's Aggie Deluxe, so I know I got a clutch back up. I can bring him in. So it's an old guy. He's about 80 years old at the time, and he has a new smoker, a Green Mountain smoker right there, and he's just sitting in there looking at it. So I walked by and go, "You got your new smoker?" He goes, "Yeah, but I don't know shit about it. You know anything about smoking?"
No,
I said, I know
a little.
I said, "I know a little something, something." So I go in there, I sit down and talk to him, and then I call Brad. I said, "Come over here, Brad. This dude, Harold Otto, and Brad, my brother-in-law, have had tickets, one section by each other. This section, 119, 120. For 20 years, they've sat in the section together, next to each other.
Next to each other.
And didn't know each other?
Didn't know each other. And so I bring Brad up to just consummate the old Aggie thing. And so I said, "Harold," I said, "what do you think about we have a little barbecue here? Let's use your smoker." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you just invite your friends, whoever you want to invite." And I said, "I'll cook, bring some ribs." And he said, "Let me think about that. Who would we invite?" I said, "Whoever you want to invite. Whoever." He said, "All right, let me think about it. I'll call you and tell you." We switched numbers. And we were at a restaurant, and I think Breckenridge the first time he called, he goes, "Let's do it." And we had potato salad, that we'd eaten some, there's potato salad. I said, "All right," because I didn't want to make potato salad, so I was going to buy it where I was at. I said, "Ma'am, can I get a quart of that potato salad and then some of those beans?" Because I had brisket and I had ribs and I had salt. I had to buy ribs. We cooked them. And so the next, I said, well, he said, "How many people?" I said, "I don't care.
However many you
20,
want.
220? You figure it out.
220.
You let me know." And so, "Oh, no, that's too many people." "Well, maybe about 30 people."
Okay.
That's
30's
fine. 30, 40 people. He called
You
me.
kept upping it.
No, it's 30,
Whatever
40.
you want,
30, 40. He calls me a couple days later. He said, "I think we're in trouble." I said, "What's up?" He said, "We're going to have more than 30, 40. I said, "Well, how many? 300, 400? He said, no, maybe 80 or 100. I said, "Not a problem."
That's not a problem.
"Ma'am, do you have this potato salad?"
Need more
we were
potato
at another
salad?
place in Frisco having brunch this time, and they had a potato salad. I said, "Can I get a couple bites of that potato salad?" And I'd stop and get some more ribs. So we ended up having this little cookout at his place. Little did I know,
Yeah.
first trip out here, first time out of the gate, everybody brings something.
Brings a dish.
Oh,
Everybody-
it's a bring a
everybody
dish
brings a
thing.
dish.
But
I
we didn't know
I
that.
didn't
But
need
this
pot-
is in Breckenridge? This is
yeah,
at the RV?
yeah, I
The
didn't
RV
need
place.
potato salad. I didn't need nothing. I just needed my ribs and sausage and brisket, and I would have been fine. So we had all this food, and we meet all these people, everybody from the HOA, everybody that's in charge of anything. I met all the shakers and the movers at this one little function. That's how we got plugged into Tiger Run, because it's a hard place to get into.
Oh, really? What meaning what?
Because it's booked out.
And
If
a
you
lot
have
of the
to- if you
spaces
don't-
are owned.
Yeah,
by
they're owned
private-
by
Oh, you can
people.
actually own?
Oh, yeah.
So what does that look? I don't understand how that works.
You buy the RV space, and I'll tell
So
you
when
what.
we
So
first
you buy
started-
the RV
when we-
space and you pay the HOA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the RV people make their money, is from the HOA.
Yeah, when they're not there, they only come for 1 or 2 months, and then they can rent them for 4, it's like June through October.
Okay.
actually.
Or if you have, a lot of times, a lot of the RV people will rent their spaces to ski instructors.
In the winter. In the winter, ski instructors from Denver blow in here with their fifth wheels, and they park it here, and they're ski instructors for the winter. So they rent them for 6 months at a pop
Because,
during
I mean,
the winter.
everything's up there. I
But
mean,
in
you've
the
got
summer,
copper,
depending
and you've
on
got
whether
Brett.
you're coming, not everybody comes for a month or two. They come for a week or two. And so they rent it through the office, or you can rent it from somebody. And I learned how to rent it from somebody, the
Right.
actual owners, because you get a better deal. Well, you
Oh, you do?
So when we first started going, we looked at it, it's crazy.
Longer stays.
They were like a piece of concrete to park your RV on,
Mm-hmm.
with maybe a little out shed, 150, 175,000. And I'm like,
What?
What?
to buy it.
To buy
To
it.
buy
That's the
a lot.
cost.
To buy the lot was 150 to 175.
When we
to buy.
first
I said,
started
I'll,
checking.
I'll never buy one of these. Why would I buy it when I can rent it?
And
for,
what's the rent look like?
The rent's $100 a day.
it's about 120 now.
Now, yeah, but at the time,
Still
probably
a
$100
lot.
a day.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
still. I mean, it's not a lot for like a nice hotel, but
Yeah.
still a lot
Right.
if you do it for 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so.
When you could. Okay, go on. I'm gonna do the math.
So I
later.
learned that. So there were 150, 175. They have chalets. Here's what you need to do. And I've been telling her for
I know.
years.
I
You know
need
what
to-
she does?
I've asked all.
She does.
She does this.
every summer.
Don't
Every-
blame me.
I have
Don't
a-
blame me. You didn't
I
ask
have
me
a
shit.
chalet.
asking.
We have some
I
friends.
can't get
She
anyone to
didn't-
go with me.
She didn't ask
You
me.
don't need anyone.
You don't need anybody.
Trace,
We got
told you.
Trace,
everybody.
she didn't ask me shit.
She said she
You're
asked
a
you every
liar,
year, and you
McGuire.
told her to do this.
A liar,
so
McGuire.
here's
No.
Here's
Let me
what
tell
you
you
do.
what I
I
told
tried
her.
to get all y'all.
Let
to
me
go
tell
with
you
the
what I
first
told
year.
her. I do not, and I told you this.
You're bougie.
I just told you this. I am. I want my own space.
You need your own
And I
chalet.
wasn't gonna go take, What? I'm not doing my stuff with a bunch of people.
I get it.
Okay, so you tell me how that's going to work, and we'll do it.
The two of
She and I
y'all,
can share.
if the
Yeah,
two of y'all
totally.
went,
Yeah.
it's a king size bed in the first floor, a living room.
Oh, okay. So like a room.
Living room is big. I'll send you.
tried.
I'll
There's a
send her
lot.
pictures.
Will you send me the picture?
Yeah, I've sent her pictures.
Okay, I'll do it because I gotta train for
and
my
then she's-
2026. I gotta
Well,
train
we may not
for
be there in
this.
2026.
No, but we're going somewhere else. We're going
Yeah,
for
we're
the
gonna be on the
American.
road.
Yeah, we're going on the
We're
road.
gonna be on the road.
That would be amazing.
But I gotta train.
Yeah.
Training wheels.
Well, so you should come this summer.
That's what I'm saying.
Stay in the chalet.
I
We
will.
still have the last
What?
10 days of August available in the chalet.
Oh.
The last 10 days
It's
of
hot
August.
as hell here.
It
We're
sure
going.
is.
We're out.
Yeah.
Okay,
and y'all
we're in.
just
Tanya,
the two of
it's
y'all
so
come.
much fun.
And
We're in.
y'all
I
just
love
come
Breckenridge.
check it out. It's unbelievable.
Stay a week. I love
But when
Breck.
you stay one time, I'll give you an example. These friends of mine, first year they came for a week. The second year they came for 2 weeks. This year they're coming for a month.
No, let's
So
get
y'all
the-
are getting us
let's
all
share the-
addicted.
Right, Rhonda.
You like this. I like
Yeah,
this too.
yeah.
Ryan
It's
and
a
Rhonda,
adult
yes.
summer camp. That's
but
what I'm talking
now,
about.
Gina and Ronald were
Adult
different because
summer.
that's
All right,
what we
here-
call
here-
it, adult summer
Kelly,
camp.
we're gonna learn these
Gina and
games.
Ronald are from Florida.
Yeah.
And they
Listen,
own their
listen.
own business down in Florida, and we've been talking to them. Y'all need to come to Breck. Y'all need to come to Breck. Rent the chalet. Rent the chalet. Come for 2 weeks. We could never come for 2 weeks. Are you out of your mind?
It's gonna be us.
So I was like, okay, whatever. So they show up for 1 week.
Yeah, they should want one week.
That's what
They're
we're gonna
on
start
one
out.
week.
One day. One
Day
day.
one, they're there.
They said, "Can we get that second week?" I said,
the first day.
I said, no, it's already
gone.
booked.
It's
But there
booked.
was a week at the end of August.
And they came
This was
back.
like in July. So they came for their week,
And they went back.
and they went home, and they flew back to Colorado for
And stayed for
a
a
week
second week.
in August.
That's how much fun they have.
And then they
Oh,
went.
Pelly,
Then
what's
they
that?
went home and bought an
Then they
RV.
went a $500,000 RV. They went home that time and went and bought a $500,000 RV. Last year, they came with their RV for the first time for 2 months.
2 months.
So they learned how to run an RV, do all that pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like over a summer.
Okay, this is cool.
Yeah. So they came for 2 months last year, and they're coming this year to our house on July 2nd, and we're going to leave them together on July 5th. Because it's from Florida to here is.
That's our halfway
it's
part.
further than from here to Colorado.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's 1,000 miles from here to Florida.
So
It's
y'all are going to go to the
750.
same place every year.
We
you
have
really,
been going
Well,
to
we
the
have
same place
been,
for
and-
10 years.
Is
Yeah.
there anywhere you kind of want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next year we were actually thinking, but I've got this big stuff I'm working on for the smoker. I'm going to get a big tour, and it's going to be a good one. And so we may not
Next year,
Yeah,
2026.
we may just go around. And I told her in our RV, it'll give us an opportunity to get out and travel and see other places. But we were talking about next year potentially going to Michigan, because we all want to go see some stuff on the East Coast.
All those
we want to
lakes.
see Syracuse, New York, Michigan. So we were thinking about going there for 2 weeks in Michigan and then spending the other 6 weeks boogieing around. But now that I'm throwing this tour together, they'll just tour with us. They'll roll with us.
That same
like you would. Yeah.
family
Yeah,
from Florida.
yeah, it's just a husband and
They'll
wife.
hop in.
Get
and
your
wherever
own.
they want
Smarty
to.
still
They're-
have his Airstream?
And I've
No, that we sold it.
I've
It was my
got-
mom. It was my brothers and my dad's. They split it.
kind of.
Oh, he has the Airstream that just sits.
Yeah.
Ronald's got his
But not
kids
the
dialed
traveling
in
one.
now. After
Yeah,
hanging
his
around
kids
with us.
run their company.
Their kids are running their company, their roofing company, and it's a big deal. So now that's why they're able to leave. But they work. If you're up there, you got 2 hours.
Yeah,
they
it's 2 or
they
3
do
hours a day.
payroll every 2 weeks. They do payroll.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do everything they do, and their daughter's in the office at home, so she can go to the bank. She's on all the stuff. Just like at home, we have our kids dialed in, so everything gets handled. If there's any 911s or fires put out, we can put them out from afar. Now, last summer, I said, I think I had to fly home twice because I was working on the smoker.
No, the first time you flew home for 4th of July. I mean, like, we
Wait.
literally got
Yeah,
there the
yeah, that's
first
right.
day of
Brett
July.
doesn't have you have to go to Boulder.
Yeah,
Boulder?
JSX. Y'all need-
JSX.
If you want
No, I've never. Oh, JSX out of Boulder now.
Have you flown JSX?
Yes.
Oh my God. You
It's
should,
great.
you should
Yes.
fly
God, that's
JSX.
the
If you
best
don't want to
airline. How
drive,
far is that?
it's an
Well,
hour.
it's a shorter drive because going across Denver to the airport is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Well,
So
Denver
you
to
can catch-
Breckenridge is only 2 hours.
But tonight, just go JSX. If
maybe.
you're gonna fly, y'all could fly and not have
Damn,
to
I didn't
drive.
realize you could fly out of Boulder.
The driving
That's
is
Rocky
the biggest
Mountain,
part of your
something,
beat
Rocky
down.
Mountain Airport.
If you're coming for a week, I say fly. If you're coming for 2
I agree.
weeks, you
Drive.
can drive.
I tried to
Because
tell her that
it-
too. She loves a good road trip. I'm like,
'Cause it takes-
it's gonna take my time.
It takes
Kelly.
2 days.
She hates to
A
road
day
trip.
coming.
I like
To road
to
trip.
road trip. I don't love it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, it's a good
I've
road
done it.
trip.
Well,
But
I mean,
I'm not like
but I
I'm not
don't-
like Pelly where we have to stop at every
Yeah.
Buc-ee's and
I don't
do
do
the
that.
hat and get my picture made.
I don't do
Hey,
that.
we're on a
If you're
road
coming,
trip.
if you're coming for a week,
I don't
fly.
do
Largest ball of twine.
And I'm just
I
gonna
will
tell you
see
right
that
now.
occasionally, like
I
one,
think
you know,
there's,
do one cheesy
Some
thing,
weird
but
thing.
not every.
I think
now
there's
and
10
then.
days, and if there is, you need to take them
You
all.
do not need to be looking at your calendar right now.
No, but he's just giving us
That's what
dates.
we're
But I
planning.
do
Well, he
think
will
that
give you
that's
dates.
really cool.
It's
So you
turned
guys
out
have
to
it all
be-
hammered out. The relationship with the kids, everything's like good. I mean, you just go.
Listen,
they run
we
it.
had some really rough years. We really did. We had years where, and we've not missed a meal. We've never lived outside. You know, we've all the crazy things that have happened to us have really just made us.
When you bought that acreage,
Better
I
and
just
more
got to know
prepared
this.
for now.
In Justin, did you buy all the 60 all at once,
Yeah.
or did you buy parcels?
So,
No.
funny story.
What made you buy that?
We used to lease that same land to graze our horses in the winter.
Oh, of course,
It was
yeah.
a mile down a dirt
Your
road
mom?
that way, and a mile
Your mom
down.
did? Oh.
Well, I did it. And then a mile this way and a half mile this way. We would run 50 horses, and we'd bring them over for a month. We'd plant oats or wheat,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
and they would graze on for 30 days, and we'd bring them back. And I tried to buy it 4 or 5 years from the lady that owned it. She didn't care about it. She just owned it. And one day she calls me up and she said, "Hey, you still think you might have some interest in buying the place?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, it depends on what you want for it." She said, "Well, I'm gonna need about 2,500 an acre." And I was like, "Ouch!" I said, "That's a little pricey, but can I think about it for a minute and call you back?" We weren't married at this time. I said, "Can I think about it and call you back?" She goes, "Yeah, don't drag your feet." So I hung up the phone like, yes! The day we bought it, it was 10,000, worth 10,000. Now 35 is right here, and on this side of 35 is 10,000 an acre. On this side of 35 is $30,000 an acre. And I just couldn't figure out for the life of me what the difference in separation of the freeway does. But anyway, she came in. We weren't even married yet, right? And her and my mother actually went 50-50 partners on it, and they bought it at the time. And then when the ranch started getting in dire straits, we bought my mother out. And so we had the whole thing.
Smart.
Yeah. She wanted to take her half of that property and leverage it at the bank, and I'm like, well, how much money do you need?
People do that all the time. They'll leverage
They
it at the
do.
bank, and
They
then
lose
what they
But they lose
realize,
it.
which I talked to my CPA, but it's the worst thing you could do.
It
Because
is.
what happens is just get the loan from the bank because you're going to lose
Yeah.
that land.
And
And
at
almost
the
like
time-
90% of people do
Yeah.
I
that.
was gonna say at the time they will only loan you half the value of the
I know.
land. So even if she owned half of the land, they weren't gonna give her the money that she needed. So I said, well, let me just buy you out,
And that'll give you your money.
and that'll give you your money, and then
And so we had it, and
Walk
we
the
sat
land
on
up,
it. That was
said
in
that this is for us.
96, and we bought her out in around 2000, maybe 99.
98 or 99
Yeah,
because we
whenever it
started
was.
building,
And then we put a house on it in 99. And
and we've been there ever since.
Someone said that they asked you, like, what's the formula, or like to stay marriage and your family.
And business and all of that.
Yeah, did they ask you? Did you? And
Well-
you didn't say there wasn't a formula, but there was a foundation.
Right.
What is
It's-
that?
I mean,
What's that look like? What's that foundation look like?
you got to keep picking each other every
no
day.
quit. You can't have any quit in you.
Yeah.
And that's what she had filed 2 or 3 different times, paid a lawyer almost full tilt, and she was ready to go divorce. I looked at her and said,
Wait, you've done this 2 or 3 times, Robin?
Yeah. She was ready to
Yeah,
roll.
I think
I was
that's
ready
so
to leave.
interesting. I've been ready to roll a bunch too, but I never went to the attorney.
Oh, I did because I was. Well, I mean,
Chicken shit.
Giver upper.
Look at you, I was
You're
not
a giver.
chicken shit.
You're a giver upper.
Yeah,
Well,
she would lay it down.
I
She tried to
was
lay it
very,
down.
very tired of
But
fighting.
that's 3 times. That's
I
a
was
lot.
very tired. It was only twice that I actually filed. But the point is, I was very tired of trying to convince him that me and his children were worth it. And that's what it felt like. He kept choosing
Which
work.
that goes back to that daddy thing.
He always chose work. He chose work. He chose work. Here's
You
your
were gone a
That's why
lot.
she liked me. in the beginning because I was a hustler.
Because you know the thing about that is you always have to get to a place where the person that you like, you're right, like she liked you
Yeah,
because of that.
that's
you
what
have to
attract-
get back to why did I like? You can't have everything in a
No, you
relationship.
cannot.
That's the problem. So you wanted that. I tell this to people all the time.
Until she didn't.
Until
Well-
she didn't, because she didn't realize what that looked like. It was starting to like.
I
oh.
didn't. As long as before
You're
I
gone
had
too.
kids, it wasn't a problem. But once those children were involved, and I felt like he needed to be a part of what they were doing, and he was gone a lot.
It was survival.
It was
I was
difficult.
working
But here's what
to
happened.
survive.
Here's what happened. Here's how Trace finally got off the hook, and here's how I finally figured out that it wasn't really him choosing. It was DNA. It is what it really was. Because the day that Trooper's daughter was born, he's standing there holding her, and I can just see his chest shaking. He's just so
True.
nervous, and he's so happy. And I looked at him and I said, "Tell me what you're thinking right now. Like, what is going through your brain? You're holding your daughter." He said, "I feel like I need to go to work." And I thought,
It's a natural instinct for
What?
men. If you're going to provide, and if you don't have a 9 to 5, 5 days a week, where you go from job to job to job
Yeah,
to
my
job.
husband and I don't have that either. Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever it
you've
is.
Got, you've got
I mean,
to. It's you kill
it's
what
all-
you eat.
it's-
You
yeah,
that's right.
You eat what you kill.
eat what you
You
kill.
eat what you
and,
kill.
and so, I mean, it's just when I met her and we were at the ranch and my life was stable. I mean, I was on top of the world.
It was
I had
different.
spent 25 years grinding to get to where I was at the top on the ranch. Back to that ranch, there was 5 ranches with reputable names. We got in that business. When we got out of that business, there was 35, and we were number 1 of 35. And how do I know that? Because my number 1 competitor was Circle R Ranch right up the street, and they kicked my ass year in and year out. And the year that I kicked their ass, when I became number 1, we became.
But how
number
do
one.
what is when you how do you know
Volume,
you're number
dollars,
1?
dollars.
Profit
When you
or
got
dollars?
no, when you got Nokia, they're
For
part of 10,000 people,
people.
and you got American Airlines, you got Boeing Electronics. When I'm taking all their big shit, and I mean, that's when I knew we had gotten there. So we're top of the world.
And I'm making
So we went-
$120,000 in snow cone money.
Yeah,
because
so we went from the top. of
you
the-
were?
Yeah.
Well, we put up a little
First
Troopers
year.
Tropical Snow inside the ranch.
You're making $120,000.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
It was a given. It was a gimme because I had all these picnics booked, 1,000, 10,000. I said, what would you
Hey,
think?
you guys
I
wanna
just
add
have
on-
unlimited snow cones for $1 a person, and they all did it. And they tacked on. Everybody tacked on $1.
It's insane.
And when I realized that of 1,000 people, 300 people came and got a snow cone once, 200 people got one twice, and 100 got one 3 times. So we still won.
We gave
It
away.
was a law of
Yeah, we
average.
gave away small, literally tiny
Yeah.
ones. But I mean, you could have as many as you wanted, and it would go on all
Night.
summer long.
All summer.
Friday
Yeah.
night, go on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Were you
through-
manning it?
April through October.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we'd
Sometimes.
get people in, we'd get people to work it. She kind of oversaw the ice and the syrups and things like that. Get all the inventory in there, and then the weekend would come, boom, wipe it out, and do it again.
Do it again. It was the craziest thing.
That's
I've ever
why I
seen.
thought that where we have a bar now, Trooper on a bar, I thought snow cones would be great. But
Does the bar do pretty well? Is it people getting cocktails, beers? Yeah.
stupid.
That little shit's printing money.
Stupid.
Stupid.
I
money.
mean, people come at 12 o'clock, noon, 10 o'clock in the morning when it opens. They'll sit down, start drinking and drinking
Because
all
the
day.
kids are playing.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
and
The
it's
kids
a
are playing.
local. Just figure it's your local neighborhood bar. I mean,
It's like
and
Cheers.
It's like.
But how's the summer? Sucks.
No.
No, he's
Because
got
you have
Misty
AC and
mates.
everything?
He's got, oh no, he's got. He's got.
Misty Mate fans, cool.
Yeah, he's got. Cool.
People are funny like that. They just don't care. Young
Listen,
people don't
the
care.
Fact,
I'm
we're looking at
They had
your
a
meat.
daddy dinner,
A daddy-daughter dinner.
last Friday.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, they're making magical moments out there. I mean, we have every Sunday the farmers market.
The
today.
farmers market.
And do they have to rent that
Yeah.
to do the daddy-daughter dance?
No,
Whatever?
no. That's
Oh
just,
no! Like they'll
They
just
have
say.
bingo on Tuesdays. There's something almost.
Oh, the kids planned. Your boys have
Yes.
made
Our,
this.
yeah,
Yes.
Gannon and Trooper coordinate events for it. So the reality is the food trucks don't even have to sit there and hope somebody comes for dinner. Whatever event's going on that night is going to draw people in. I mean, I think last year for 4th of July, they had 3,000 people come through there.
Which are food trucks that are there all the time. They just
Yes,
lock it up,
they're
leave
there all the
it.
time.
We have
They rent the space
we
from
have
you? Yep,
seven
they rent a space
full-time
on the
trucks
monthly.
and 3 that rotate.
Yeah.
So we get fresh ones in all the time.
Wow.
7 full-time.
But that bar
Every
goes
time,
full
once in a
tilt
while,
all
we'll
the
bump
time.
one of them out and we'll bring in a better one because that's what we're always looking at.
That bar should be like a private bar. Like you pay
So
a
here's
yearly
what-
fee. Not much, but just like you know, you
So
don't.
it's funny that she says that.
Has to be the
because
special people.
currently, hang on, I'm gonna go here.
I'll open a social club there.
So, but here's the thing: we have this bar. Trooper and Gannon had a house in the neighborhood next door that they've recently sold.
Okay.
Okay. So now they have moved back into our house.
Okay.
They live in the master bedroom and bathroom. Tanner and his fiance live upstairs. Trace and I moved across the street to the Airbnb. So we live
It was an
upstairs.
Airbnb. We made
was,
an Airbnb.
we had an Airbnb
It's got a
upstairs.
shuffleboard, pool
So
table.
why exactly did y'all move out of your house? Where were they all moving in?
Because Trooper needed to sell his house.
Yeah.
And he hasn't bought a new one yet?
No,
gonna build a new
We're going
house.
to build one at
Build
our
a
place.
On your land?
Yeah, we're building a compound.
You're not running out of space.
No.
No. We got 3 acres inside a fence of more than that.
But we
And
had-
they're gonna
And they're
build
gonna
right
build a
there.
house there.
So that's how you keep your sons? That's
No.
the key that I need to
Honestly,
understand. You keep your sons
We don't
by
know what happened. We don't know
No.
how we did it. We don't
No,
know.
we just
didn't
we,
plan this.
they-
There's no-
Well, this whole thing
didn't
is
mean to
about
do this.
family business, right? This whole podcast is about family business.
Is it?
I grew up in a family.
Yeah,
business.
I mean, it is. It
I
is.
grew up in a family. Well, this particular one today.
His.
Yeah,
That's
Like
what-
y'all's podcast.
So I grew up in a family business, and I kind of just brought them in and sold them the dream, and it's the vision. And so what we're doing, we're just getting started. We got a lot more to
There's
do.
a lot of big plans, but we
And
taught
that's
those
what
boys.
I do. I'm out front. I'm doing the engineering.
Yeah.
I'm doing the construction. I'm doing the bidding, the pricing. I'm out front for tomorrow. They're handling today, and then I stack it up on them. Like I'm gonna add 60,000 square foot of conventional storage. That's gonna suck their hair back for about a month, about a year.
No, I was gonna say not a month.
No, about a year.
Yeah,
Until they
then
get
once
them full.
when it's running,
Yeah.
And then
Once
when it's full-
we're on the next, and then we're on the next.
Yeah.
so they have to live
I-
there.
this
They're
is-
both gonna build
They don't
houses
have
on the
to.
land.
No, they
Tanner's
live where they
gonna
want to.
live in the house that
But-
we built and that we lived in
But
for all this
here's
time.
how
and
it
now we
went.
moved out of.
When
He'll stay in
Trooper,
the house
when
that we have
Trooper
now.
got married, they wanted to. They were living in our house too, but they got married and they wanted to go buy a house in the neighborhood. And I said, "Dude, we could build you one right here." And oh, we gotta go do it. She's different. She's comes from the city. She's not used to how family businesses work, and so she was different. So he said, "We're gonna build a house, buy a house." So they went and bought a house.
Cool.
3 months in, 6 months in, he's over.
He hated it.
This sucks. I mean, touch your neighbor on this side, touch your neighbor on this side. You can't even be in your backyard, your neighbor's talking. I mean, he lives in a neighborhood.
I know.
He actually was
Hates
having
it.
a conversation
Hates
with
it.
his
Because he's a
wife,
country
and the
boy, he
neighbors
does.
So
chimed in.
he wants to come back home.
Hey, I heard what y'all were saying.
Yes, that's what happened. The neighbor
Yeah.
chimed in on their
Nothing worse.
conversation, and they were like,
That was the
Yeah.
end of my
And so
marriage.
he was going to
Fuck that
sell his
neighborhood.
house. Wanted to put it on the market
Oh,
March
yeah, that was
1st.
bad.
We had gone to Colorado for 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, February, and we came home March 1st. We knew we had to get our shit together, but we probably would have kicked the can down the road for about 30 days. We,
I wasn't in a hurry.
They wanted to put their house on the market. And
So you're like, okay, we're
he
not rushing.
packed his shit in January.
Yeah.
Walked around in boxes January, February. March 1st, when we rolled back up into home, he shows up at our house with his truck and
He just
loads a bunch
unloaded
of
boxes
in
into
our
our
living
living
room.
room.
I looked at her and went, oof, we gotta go. We gotta get busy. So we spent 2 days and we
So
cleaned-
where'd y'all go?
We our
Airbnb
our
across the
Airbnb,
street.
which
It's
is
above
going-
the.
But you were planning to do that.
No,
No, we weren't planning
Well,
to do it that fast.
yeah, that's fast.
I mean, like, literally, they put boxes.
But y'all
Because, wait,
allowed
when
your
I met
kids to
you,
come
that
back
was
home. I would
a
not have done
party
that.
room or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
I built
we
it for the kids
converted
because
it.
I grew up at a dude ranch.
Yeah.
I had horses and rivers, and we played outside. But they didn't have all that, so I built a little room, and there's going to be a place for the kids to play,
Yeah.
hang out with their friends.
Hang out.
Yeah.
TVs,
And
pool
it
table.
didn't last very long, about a year. They wouldn't take out the trash, and they left pizza up there and drinks everywhere. And so I gave
Ants
them,
and
I gave
bugs
them 3
came.
warnings. I got 2
Parties.
warnings, and I told them the third one's the last one, and they didn't acknowledge it, and so they got kicked out.
Yeah.
I kicked them out. They were done, and they ended up. It was sit there for a year or two, and it didn't have a kitchenette in it. We had to add a kitchenette to make it a full-blown
Because I think
Airbnb.
that was the first party I ever went to, was some kind of, maybe
Yeah.
it was a Super Bowl or
So
something.
y'all are in
Yes.
this place. Are you building a house for yourself? Or
We're gonna.
We're gonna. Well, I mean, we're not in a hurry. I mean, we're
'Cause you're actually kinda
the
happy.
We
Airbnb's
actually love it.
2,500
It's the
square
first-
feet. We're just
it's
like
the
it's got
first
plenty
time-
of room.
It's the first time in our life that we have not had somebody in our house.
Living in our house.
At 30 years.
Well, I think it's really weird that not weird. That's not the right word. I think I would have been like, no, you can't come home. Like, figure it out. Like, why are you moving all
Well,
your
we're
stuff in
going
on
to
my
build
house?
him a house. We knew we were going to build a house.
Yeah, we knew we were going to build a house. He was going to build a house. It
But
was
she just wanted him to come home and get. I guess it does.
I
Some
didn't-
people it just doesn't bother.
Well,
It doesn't bother me. I mean,
It bothers me. I
we
think I
packed
would
up
be
after
like,
25 years of living in our house. We packed our shit in 2 days and we're out. We ain't looked back.
That
okay,
was
so
harder than
so
I
yeah, they
thought,
kicked
though. For
y'all
me,
out.
It was harder.
They kicked you out of your own house,
I
which is
call
very
it the
smart.
coup.
It's very smart. you raised very entrepreneurial boys. They're like,
Yeah.
we move all our shit in the house.
Uh-huh.
Mom and Dad go
We'll
to
have
the
to go
guest
next
house.
door.
They go somewhere
Well,
else.
now here's the thing. We do. I should say this. Trace and I talked to Trooper and Gannon in the beginning, and I said, "Listen, we can live in our RV if we need to. You guys can come back over here." In
So
my
y'all-
mind, it was going to be something super temporary,
Small. Yeah.
and it never
Quick.
occurred. Yeah, it really didn't occur to me until I started. I was like, "Oh shit," you know.
We have a bedroom right there,
that's great.
living room
Oh, it's
right
wide
here,
open.
pool
There's
table,
no-
Yeah, I've been up
shuffleboard
there.
bar. That's just one big.
That's a blast. Come on,
Yeah.
you have a
I mean,
guest room?
We call it our cowboy condo.
Cowboy condo.
No, we got air
No, it's a
mattress.
cowboy condo. That's exactly what it is. Look
But
at your-
here's the thing. What you said
Oh, that's
earlier
perfect.
about like
Oh,
Trooper
yeah.
would like
Fabulous.
to eventually, once we move out of there, we get our little
he
house
wants
built,
that house.
No,
He wants to turn it into a whiskey
what you were
bar.
talking about, a private
A
club.
private whiskey bar.
Yeah, that's a
Plus,
great
you know,
spot.
He's thinking the way I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only problem is
He's-
I don't live out there, so I
Now
couldn't
he's
join
thinking.
because then I'd have to drive
Oh,
home.
we just. All you have to say is, "I know your mother."
You're probably a member of the branded room, aren't you?
No, am I?
Mhm.
No.
No,
I don't think he
just
owns
curious.
What'd you say?
The branded
the
room on the north
the
side.
branded room. They have a membership there too.
No, I know, but that's not. No.
But I don't understand.
But I hear that. I hear
That's-
that.
I don't
That's
understand
for-
that whole concept anymore.
That's Fort Worth bougie.
That's something different.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I mean, north side bougie, really, not.
Well,
Fort
I
Worth.
hear
It's-
that Taylor Sheridan's doing a social club
Yeah.
at Cattleman's.
I read that. the other
So
day.
that's
Yeah,
sort
me
of what
too.
that is, and I saw the big plan.
I heard he destroyed
It's
it. I
kinda-
mean, the
Well, we
food.
went in there
Plan,
at
the
Christmas.
plan, but I'm like, how is that gonna happen?
Remember we took the girls? We
Yeah,
had
we
a
were-
little annual thing, and we took them
I was
down
kind
there.
of really
And it
upset
was in the
about it.
middle
Oh, me
of
too.
Reconstruction.
I went on my
thought she was
first
gonna
date
have
there.
a lay
Oh, yeah.
down panic attack.
I went on my first date at Cattleman's, and I was like,
It made me so
I've
sad to
been-
hear that
ruined
they
it.
were.
I've been
It
going
doesn't
since
look the
15.
same.
I hate
you were
that.
going like I was.
Did you go to Billy Bob's, Arlene?
Yes.
I was at the VIP. We had a VIP membership. My mother knew Billy Bob and Spencer Taylor, which is who did that.
Yeah.
And I was 14 or 15 years old, and I was going to that club, driving myself
Yep.
from Justin and going to the VIP club. I had a card.
And then there was Hub Baker.
Yeah.
Then my dad's best friend, one of his best friends, Hub
Great.
Baker.
Yeah.
So anytime I wanted to go meet Daryl Dodd or somebody,
Oh, yeah.
I'd just say, "Hey, Dad, put me
We
on the
got
list," or
tickets.
"Hub, put me on the
Robert
list."
Gallagher's Hammer Music.
Yeah, Robert Gallagher.
He's back.
And he's off.
He's back.
Okay.
Oh, he's throwed off, yeah.
He's third off, right? I just went to see. Oh, you know what I did? I was like, I've got to see live music tonight. So I looked and I said, oh, okay, Billy Bob's might have something, and I don't know. I love it. That's like because it's still authentic. It's just
Yeah.
cool, right? I mean, different than Dickies, but just Dickies is fine.
Yeah, it's a little
but
cheesy, but it's still.
I love Billy Bob's. So it said Jelly Rolls going. And I was like,
saw
I'm
Jelly
going.
Roll?
It said
No.
Yeah.
it said Jelly Roll
And Friends.
and Friends.
Oh my God, it's great. I know people went. I didn't go.
$100.
Oh my
It cost
God.
me $100. But best concert I've ever been to. I was enamored. I was like,
I
oh my
heard.
gosh, get me a. I mean, and like
She sent us
all
15 videos.
Lainey Wilson,
understand
Oh,
me.
yeah.
all these people came
Yeah.
because
Well, I love
they
Lainey
were at the
and Jen.
CMA
Yeah, they were in
Awards
Frisco.
Yeah,
they all-
so he had all his friends. First, I was looking, I was like,
Post
that
Malone
can't
there?
be Lainey. Yes, Post gets up, and I'm like, that's not Post. And I think Stevie goes, I think it is Kelly, and I go, no.
He's lost a lot of weight.
He looks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's this big.
Yeah, he's crazy looking.
And I was like, and I wasn't far, but you know, you don't even really, like, I don't even know how I got into, I paid general admission, but somehow,
Well, it's kind of
I don't know if
fight
it's
for your
received,
seats.
but it's
There's like a little bit of
but
reserve.
so they
in the
don't
front.
have that, they don't have those tables for this, they didn't have it for Jelly Roll.
Oh.
So it was, all that was open.
Oh,
And
so
I
you
just kind of
walk
walked
up there.
right in there, but you know, you would have had to have something on, but she let me. And I literally stood there and was like, I mean, he's the coolest guy,
I know, we love him.
right?
Yeah,
We love
we
him.
saw
Yeah,
it.
y'all should have. That would have been.
We
He's
love
on
him
the-
because
he's on the
he's a
list.
great success story in that, you know what,
He
he picked himself, scraped himself up,
off the ground.
and got right back
Came
in
from nothing.
it. I'm doing,
Meaning, like, you know,
Came
just-
from
doing
jail.
stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Came from
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
Came from jail.
But
Yeah.
what I mean
Jail.
is like the mom. You know, it's like you always like look at these stories and you're like, oh, you know, it's one thing for you to have trauma and a drug issue or
Oh, his
whatever,
mother.
but when you have generational
Yes,
and then
yes.
you pull yourself out of that, that's
Yeah.
like impressive.
And
It
everybody
is
thinks
impressive.
that
And he's
everybody,
cool.
everybody thought that Bunny was sucking off of him, a gold digger.
Oh yeah.
Bunny supported him
Yeah.
for 5 or 10 years.
They have
while
a cool story.
While
They
he
do
drove
have a
around
great
the
story.
van, and it wasn't
Best friends, right?
They were
Yeah,
they
it
were very
wasn't-
good
yeah, it
friends,
wasn't
but
until
she
he-
supported him because
I mean,
he
they were not
introduced her
lovers,
to the
right?
daughter.
They
No.
were
That was
not.
because the
No.
daughter came in
The
there,
daughter
right?
came
Didn't
into
they help
play
get the
because
daughter-
she felt sorry for that
The
girl.
mother of the daughter was messed up, and she was coming to live with Jelly Roll, and he didn't have a house. He had
Yes.
a van, and
Yeah, he
so
was living
she
in a
brought
van.
him in, and that's
in a
what she that's where it
townhouse or
started.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
It's
mean,
a
their
great little
story's
story.
cool,
that's a great story.
and they're cool people. I mean, he's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's just a real person, and that's
Yeah.
the thing that I like about him. And that's just for me. I always appreciate a good success story. I really do. But if you are a success story that is super successful, like you hit the jackpot, that's even a favorite, better story for me.
Which is Jelly Roll.
Is Jelly Roll. He's
Yeah.
just making money hand over fist.
Well, and he said,
came
I'll
from
bring some of my
nothing to-
friends. I'm sure he just brought who they didn't know who was coming, do you think? I don't think that was
I
planned.
don't know.
I mean, it didn't seem it.
Who knows?
They were just coming off side stages.
Holy
I
cow,
was
though,
like-
Lainey
I was
Wilson,
like,
she's a hot
I
ticket.
mean, she is the hot ticket.
She is.
Like,
and,
I
and
had no
love her
idea.
anyway.
Yeah, when she came on stage, the people were going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then at CMAs, what she pick up like 6 awards?
Oh yeah, she's
I mean, she's
cleaned
raked it in.
house.
I was like, okay, I'm
She
gonna watch
did.
the CMAs this year because getting to that, I was hoping it wasn't gonna be like, you know, the fake country
Political?
western music.
Yeah.
You know who they are.
Yeah, we did.
The you know,
That's why I can't watch a
the big L's. You know, we know what the big L's are that come on and act like they're country
Yeah.
western singers and. I can't do that. I can't watch any of those
You mean on
award
Beyonce,
ceremonies
like Beyonce?
anymore where they get up and give their political views.
Hey, just gonna go ahead and,
And
say it out
go ahead and
loud.
say the Beyonce.
Well, she's not a country
She's
music
not
singer.
country.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even
No.
get it.
Yeah.
Is she even real?
She knows she's not country. She knows.
So I was shocked that the CMAs were that cool because the Grammy, all that has just gotten. I can't watch it.
It's
We don't watch
political.
anything. Listen,
It's
we have
too
turned
political.
into a couple of crunchy hippie people.
What do y'all do at like bedtime before bedtime? And that are y'all looking at like watching like a series? Well, I don't mean are y'all getting after it? I mean like are you watching
Well, I will
series?
tell you that since we do, I will say this for the empty nesters, because Wyatt's gone, right?
Yeah, I'm an empty nester. None of mine came back. Yeah.
Is there more nudity
They got
involved than you thought?
they got away quickly. Yeah, there's a lot of underwear walking around with no
walking
shirt on, raising your shirt and doing this.
a whole lot more nudity
mean, it's
involved
very
in the
interesting.
empty
I got a
nesting.
bad son.
Nobody talks about that. Nobody tells you you're going to be naked more than you think.
But I'm not walking around naked like that.
I walk from the shower to my closet in the mechanical room.
Oh, but that's because I've seen your space. You have to.
Yeah, it's wide open.
You kinda
There's
have
nothing
to.
it.
But I
now
do
we just
laugh-
walk around going, huh? What?
You know, I think I do. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
you've made me really aware of that.
Yeah.
I did walk into the kitchen and get a glass of water from the bathroom today with no shirt on.
Yeah, you're just like,
Like I
whatever.
forgot that I had boys, and I've never done that.
No.
Like I would never get up and go with just no bra on.
Oh,
to
no.
take
him to school.
to cook.
No.
To cook breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Right? Would you? Or I'm hiding a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'll hide it.
Yeah,
but,
no.
they don't need to see all that.
Kelly doesn't want to show all.
I
that.
mean, no. Well,
No.
neither does Robinson.
I mean, that's not like it's just not there. So that's I will have to.
I just
put
think
some
it's
bra.
funny that life has changed. So what do we do?
So do you watch?
What
Do you do series? Do
We
you
do.
watch
We stream a lot of
movies?
television. We recently
Or do you listen to records
canceled
on your record
DirecTV.
player?
We're
Good
so
Good for
Yeah.
you.
we are so we,
I haven't
we
had
eat
that.
gummies.
You what?
Good for
We
you.
eat gummies and we watch TV.
And you just will do this? It's like
Oh no, we laugh our asses off.
What shows
tell
are you
what are
watching?
we
You
watching?
give me
Okay.
some.
Well, what was that show that we just watched?
Yeah,
Your
we-
Did you
Friends
watch-
and Neighbors was hysterical.
Oh my God, that was
That was
Oh
amazing.
my God, I loved that.
Us too.
Loved it.
We loved Succession.
White Lotus?
we're struggling right
I
now
watch
because
White
we
Lotus.
cut the cable.
I think you guys would like White Lotus.
After 25 years, we got rid of DirecTV.
Recording our television.
And everything was recorded. We haven't seen a commercial in so long. I don't even know how to watch TV without commercials.
Oh, and I have
with
to now. I
with
hate it.
commercials. I know that's what we're doing.
Streaming, and we just
I
like,
know all the
but
time we're
whatever.
sitting there looking at each. I'm like, how long is this
See,
going to
we
be?
laugh. We laugh.
We can't fast forward it.
Yes. Just get up and go.
And a lot of them are about erectile dysfunction.
Commercials are weird.
They're
They've
gonna
gotten
outlaw
very
those.
strange.
Commercials are just all big pharma. Here, hey,
Yes.
guess what? If
And
you're
Robert-
self-diagnosing, here's what you need.
RFK needs to, let's get it out of here.
I think he's going to pass
It's
a law
got
where
to
they can't
go.
be on TV.
It
hope
doesn't
so.
need
But it
to.
is a lot.
I know, but he's going to get them off.
Yes.
Okay, good. He needs to. What do you think of him? You like him?
Love him.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
him a lot, yeah. Because we
I do
started our little journey probably 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He started fasting, just doing intermittent fasting on the
For
daily.
Trooper's wedding.
Yeah,
Okay.
for Trooper's wedding, and
It's very good for you. I did a liver cleanse, and then I had no idea I was going to get acne.
Yeah.
My liver was. That's how
Toxic it was?
Well, you don't have to be that aggressive about it, Trace. But it was. It was pretty toxic. I mean, when you're getting childhood zits coming up.
Hey, you're supposed to get.
I was
this
like,
when
is
you're
this
16, but here it is.
normal? To have like a like to have
Looks like you're wearing a helmet all
yeah,
day.
the Big Dipper right here, and they're like, yep,
We all
pretty
got
normal.
heavy metals and plastics. We're all drinking
Microplastics and all
water,
that.
plastic
So
bottles.
we got into that.
Yeah.
Changed our
Good.
deodorants, changed our toothpaste.
So
changed
you're
our,
doing Branch Basics.
we're doing all
this.
kinds
Yeah,
of thing with supplements. Everything.
I take
everything.
supplements too.
We eat meat, we eat butter.
Do you eat a lot of meat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we eat more
Hey.
meat. Than
My
we don't
body,
eat a lot
I
of
didn't realize
chicken,
meat
If
was
but-
they
lot of
tell
meat.
you not to do it, you
We
should
do
do
it.
it.
The minute they say, I know, do
Yeah.
not eat red meat, I'm like,
Oh,
I think I'll
get it.
go eat,
2
40
steaks.
ounces of red meat. I'm serious. Like,
That's
I go
what
the
we
complete
do.
opposite.
We haven't.
I find myself-
Go
haven't
get the
had blood
vaccine.
pressure
Yeah, I
medication
think
in
I
2
won't.
years.
I
drink
used to,
hibiscus tea.
because I cook a lot, I think you gotta have a meal. Well, my grandmother told me she raised me that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I was 55. I'd had breakfast every day for 55 years. I did not think I could make it to noon. And once I made it to noon, I was like, damn, this is
So
easy.
you basically do the noon and then you stop
I only
at
eat between
7?
12 and 6.
Yeah.
I eat between 12
Do you
and 6.
ever just kind of go, oh, I got to have something at
Yes.
7 or 8?
Yes.
I know.
Like there will be days that you wait. Well, usually it
Wait a minute,
would
you're
lean
talking
like
about snacking. We used to snack.
Snacking?
We had
Yeah, that's
nuts. We
different.
had nuts. We had all these things by our TV. That's all gone.
Yeah.
We don't nibble. We don't snack. No, I eat
We
between
drink
12 and
water,
6.
we don't
It's like,
drink-
we
What do
wouldn't
you
eat-
do? Do you drink
Don't drink
any
alcohol
alcohol?
in 2 years.
No, we quit drinking alcohol.
Y'all both do
Yeah.
not drink
not
alcohol
drink
at all.
alcohol.
Been
Who was a
3
bigger drinker? Who was it harder for?
Her.
Were you,
It wasn't
really?
hard for me to quit, but I was the bigger drinker.
What did you drink? Beer? Or?
Beer and vodka.
When she was
Yeah.
drinking with her, they were drinking a case a day.
I do not feel good. I'm going to be
I mean,
honest
not
with you.
every day,
After
that's not-
after doing the liver cleanse, after being on all the stuff that I'm on, like all the all this stuff.
Yeah.
I drink a couple of tequilas. I just
it's horrible.
it's not anything
poison.
other than it kills my gut.
It's poison. And your gut is the most
poison.
important
And
thing.
your gut is
the
your
most
gut,
important
Your
thing.
gut health is the most
I know.
important thing in your
I
body.
know. And
If your gut health goes south, so do you.
Yep. And it's not pretty.
No.
So, yeah, so that was hard, and you just completely wiped it out.
We quit doing it. It was
When I went on a trip with you, we went to Lake Todd. You were not a big drinker. I think you and I are about the same kind of drinkers. I'm not a big. I mean, I don't have to have alcohol.
You
in my
are
life.
an
than we did,
adventurous
yeah.
drinker. You drink things that I cannot drink.
Yeah, I
She
am.
struggles.
I'm more of like a Scotch.
Scotch
on
and
the
gin.
rocks.
I'm like, I can't drink either one of
Like
those.
we go to dinner in
Peer
Colorado,
pressure for me.
and everybody orders a drink, and they're all, I'll have one.
I'll take a 5.
And she'll get it, and she'll have one little sip out of it, and sit there and melt down $20 drink. I'm like, how many of those you gonna do? And so she just can't. She's done it now. She's gotten better now. But in the beginning,
So when you have a non-alcoholic drink, would you do like a
No.
ginger beer
No.
with no
that's
need
ginger
to?
beer. That just
sort
Okay,
of
when
seems
you're at dinner
pointless.
with people, you don't do
I
like
drink water.
water,
water.
or iced tea,
Yeah,
Don't even
I
hardly. We'll drink iced tea, but
and you
not
drink
much.
coffee
Depends
now.
on where I'm at.
Coffee's almost killing my gut.
Really?
Yeah, I just think
I
it's
can't
from
drink
cleaning
coffee
too much.
anymore.
It's just like.
Well, but I drink coffee and then we
But I
use
love it. I still do it.
organic brown sugar and heavy
But let
cream.
me tell you about coffee.
I drink
It's got
chai
a
tea
lot
or
of
Mud
mold
water.
in it.
I
You've
drink
got
hibiscus
to
tea now, and I
do
love it.
organic
With lime. Oh,
with
it's
no
so
mold.
good.
Really watch the mold in coffee.
Yeah,
Warm
so
or
we were
hot?
hooked
Is that
on
kinda
a
hot?
Texas pecan. It was a convenience
Hot.
store coffee.
So
Really?
send
Buy
that
it
to
in
me
the
because
liquor
I want
store.
to change
And it
what I'm
sits on the
doing.
shelf a lot. I think it may be.
But I like to
We
put
got
a
off of
collagen
it.
in on that
We
shit.
got
It
an
could be.
organic from or
So
Costco
send me
now.
what you're drinking.
So y'all are
Okay.
kind of freaks about it.
We're just getting our hippie years.
Yeah, we're here in the hippie years. We finally learned what we're too old to do.
Did you tell
Give
your
a shit.
Did you tell your son not to vaccinate that baby with
Yep.
all the vaccines
No.
She
run
has
off?
got
None.
not one needle or
She
thing.
got not zero.
None.
None.
I love hearing that because I
Oh,
heard about another doctor friend where he's talked to his daughter who is she's a surgeon, and she didn't
Yeah.
vaccinate
So not chickenpox,
one
none of it?
vaccine.
She's
Have you
no
heard
vaccines.
about the pandemic that hit the Amish community?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
No, I mean I heard that they didn't hit them. I
I
heard they
said-
get
I
nothing.
said,
They're
did you
disease
hear-
ridden. I
did
know.
you
I
hear-
didn't answer your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean
No,
no.
it
They're never
happened.
sick.
Never happened. So it's not gonna happen.
It won't happen.
They are healthier than anybody on this planet.
Well, and they're staggering these vaccines now, where they're
Well,
just. But I'm thinking,
but
if
there was-
I were a mother today, I don't think I'd vaccinate.
I have
There's
a coworker who
22
said
when
she
Trooper was
didn't
born. There's
vaccinate.
70 something
And then
now.
little, what was
And
it?
do you
they
know
just went
why?
through
Why?
Because when they
little
make a
virus,
vaccine
she
and
was
it
so
doesn't
nervous,
work
but
in
she
the
was
world,
like,
they
I
can't
can't-
sell
I'm
it.
not
Give
gonna
it
do it.
they
On the
get it on that
RSV.
Yes. She's like,
vaccine
I'm not
list for
gonna get
kids.
it, I'm not gonna-
It's
And
forever.
so much pressure.
It never. They don't
I
take them
know.
all.
And I was
So they
like,
just
I don't
keep
know what to tell
adding, and it's the pharmaceuticals' way of making money on
I
a
know.
vaccine that didn't work in the
I
world.
know, but nobody's ever told us that like I need Wyatt or Elliot's vaccine card for college. I need their vaccine card for
Yep.
this. You can get a written
Yeah.
slip that's nobody tells you this.
What'd you see about the
You just
measles
have
the
to
other
ask
day?
the question.
Oh, that there was an article that I read that said that the measles, when you contract the measles, that there's something that happens to your body that actually fights cancer.
Yeah.
When you
That's
have
why
the
they give you-
measles,
that's
and
why you
they're
got a
like,
measles
"Oh, that
vaccine."
makes sense." Now they don't want you to have
That's
the
why you
measles.
gotta
now
So what
They
I
don't
would
want
like
you to
to
have
do
the
is
measles
invite y'all
because-
back for a conspiracy theory topic because we've become.
Oh, we're
conspiracy-
big into that.
So everybody calls me a conspiracy theorist,
No,
and I'm like,
and I mean,
oh, so
I
you
like to
now
talk
you're
about- we
complimenting
can
because I'm the
spend-
smart girl
You
in the
know, it's
room.
real talk. It's not.
It's
No,
not
no, no, I mean-
conspiracy.
No,
it's
it's
real
real.
talk.
Yes.
It's the truth.
I don't give a shit what you believe or what you think, but don't make me play along with your charade. And I'm going to believe what I want to believe.
Yeah.
That it is what it is. I don't
you-
care.
Whatever the
Let me
plan
ask
was
y'all,
for
do you
COVID,
think-
it ba-
do
it
you think-
backfired on them.
Do you
'Cause
think
we
part
see
of
now.
your success in your entrepreneur life is because you have a radar of I don't give a shit, or do you think it's because you're a little bit of a black sheep and don't really?
They say black sheep are the most successful.
I am a black sheep of my
Yeah,
family for
they're
sure.
the most
I mean, my granny gave me a blanket, and I didn't know I was a kid.
Yeah.
Marty got the Dallas Cowboy. I think Tracy got Barbie, and I got the black sheep. And it's a furry blanket with all the sheep on it, and one black.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's
You're
that
the
mean?
one. You're.
And she's like, well, you're the kind of the black sheep. But they
You
say
question
it,
everything.
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 Absolutely.
Everything, and I don't just.
She
I
doesn't
used
feel bad about it.
No, you know.
I know.
You
I
saw me
know.
in the piano bar. I'm like, you can't play piano worth the shit. So can we get someone new in here?
Can you play the piano?
Robin, do you know how to play the piano? No. But no, it's funny
play the
because
piano.
is it that I don't give a shit radar, or is it you're just born a kind of that I'm not gonna do what everybody.
Yeah, no, I've never done it. If you've
That's-
looked at
I'm
my
just
Facebook
curious.
at all, you're gonna see that. I mean, I catch a lot of crap from a lot of people, but I don't care.
He doesn't
I
care.
put the truth out there. I mean,
His
What do you-
truth, your truth.
And when you're on your
truth.
RV park, are you dishing out what you think? Okay. And what do you think the majority is out there? Is it they think like you in these?
I would say it's 70-30.
Yeah.
Okay. And
No
do you
more
offend
s-
some of them?
Probably.
I kind of can see them coming.
Probably.
And I've
Yeah, you
learned-
kinda know
I
now.
don't approach them really. I let them come at me. We had a picture of Trump in there, you know, that stand-up poster, and she. Was it you put it in the office? She hid it because a couple people would.
They
What
said
is
something
that?
Which I get it. I mean, you're like, I'm
No.
trying to have a
Hey,
dinner
listen,
party,
we're
but
trying to have a
I'm
No,
going
no,
to
it's
tell
at our
you,
business.
it's the business.
It's at our
We're
business.
trying to have
It's
a
at the
business.
business.
I don't
I'm
think that I
kinda-
need to be,
What do you think of that?
fly my colors.
It is what
But
it is.
it's so unfair.
Because you can say and
It's-
do
It's
whatever.
irritating that
You want me to put a picture of Biden in there? Would that make you feel
Yeah.
better? No.
Because if I come into your business and you're a Biden supporter and you got the picture there, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
I don't give
I
a
mean, I
shit.
know
don't
people
care.
that have Jesus hanging in their house. Do you?
I've
If you're
never-
an
well,
atheist,
the
are you going to
funny
say
thing
Why
is
do
yes?
you think that? Why do those people think that they can come at other people? Because I don't think the same way you
They're
do.
usually from out of town.
Yeah, I mean, shut up.
Well, here's the thing. The person who first said something about it was a customer of the storage facility, a female customer.
Very offended by it, I'm sure.
But I'm going to break a couple of things down. These are just context. Sweet lady, love her to death. She's in a same-sex marriage, and she's black. So she had some already
predisposition. I get
had,
that.
She had some predisposed
Fast
thinking
forward
going on.
to today.
We're friends with her and her wife.
She's totally cool
We
with
love
whatever
her.
we say or do, or she knows it's
As
her
it should
way.
be. We should
And it's
be
her
able
way.
to-
Now she
That's
knows
right.
us.
Because
I think there was a real
segregation along just because we think differently.
of them
and
saying
we should be thinking differently.
you are you are a racist if you like Trump. I mean, there was this whole conspiracy thing. You don't believe in same-sex marriage. Yeah, I do. I
Are
want
you
you to all
kidding?
get married. I want everybody to be happy. If you
Yeah.
want to get married and if you're that dumb and you
Please
has
get in the
nothing-
boat with us.
has nothing to do with your
Let's-
sexuality.
Yeah, good luck.
let's
You
not
know what
go
I'm
down-
saying?
Let's
And-
not go down this path today because it'll take 3-4 hours.
No,
Well,
exactly.
the
So
point that I'm
we're
trying to
brushing over
make
that,
is
but I'm
that-
saying,
Yes, I did.
Do you think that
I have
you're
a little bit more empathy, and I was like, you know what? Let's separate this from business.
I agree
yeah.
with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I just prefer
But
to
I
not
also-
have that
I just
I
want
had
people
a-
to get to a place and say it's okay.
It's okay to have
We
difference
don't
of
have to get in a
opinion.
fist fight over it. It's okay for us
I'm
to
not going to
debate
kick
it
your
and
ass because you
disagree.
think differently than me.
Move on. If you don't like what's sitting right there, move on.
Well, but there
Trump
are those that
derangement
cannot move on from
So
it.
what is
It's
the
real.
one tip you would give somebody out starting that really is living not fully erect, like you guys are? Because you're obviously you're more than erect. You're like a huge erection.
You big
What would you tell them, the young that are like, I want to get out and do what they're doing. I want to go out and, is it like, there's got to be
Do
some
the fucking
tip.
work.
Just grind.
Do the work, because so many kids are just waiting for something to drop into their lap.
They really
I want
are.
to be an influencer. I want to be a this. I want to be a that. You know what? If you want to live a big boy life, you got to go do big boy shit.
Yeah.
And you can't just stand around and bitch about why it didn't come to you, because it didn't come to us
It's
either.
never coming to anybody.
It
I
is-
hate to
and
tell
we-
you, nobody's giving it to you.
You know, and we had to tell our kids, hey, listen, guys, here's what you need to
But
understand.
y'all did create that.
We
Which is
did,
kinda
but at the
lucky.
same time, we warned our children beforehand. If you work for yourself, you will never work harder in your life than when you work for yourself, because every day is survival. If you go to a job and you're doing a good job and you're relatively good at your job and they keep paying you, that's easy. I mean, it's a pain in the ass and it's a trade-off. Of course, maybe I get insurance benefits, but I only get so much time off.
I know.
It is what it is. This summer, our kids are coming to Colorado for 2 weeks for the first time ever, because we have people in places
Oh, you do?
now
Good.
that they can both
Nice.
come and spend a couple of weeks with us in Colorado. But you have to
Yes,
work.
but I'll tell you, this is a thing I'm fixing to adopt, because
Okay.
I told you we've got something planned for every piece of land that we've got, right?
Every 10 acres, you think? Would you say it that way?
I'd
Would
say
you
right.
say it
It's
every
just 3
5?
or 4 projects that we got, and so if I look at it on a 10-year scale, I'll be 70. And so I saw this today. Said Elon Musk was right when he said, take your 10-year goals and try to do them in the next 6 months. Even if you fail, this is a correct mindset that wins. So
Jam it up.
I'm gonna put my foot to the gas. I mean, by the time I get this storage project launched, I'm on the next one. I'm already actually doing some preliminary engineering for it because it just makes sense. And so I'm just not gonna wait 2 or 3 years, and then 2 or 3 years, and 2 or 3 years. We're gonna jam it. We're gonna go right now. Let's go.
Do you think age matters? Or would you say no, you can
No.
do anything you want at any time at
No,
any
we
age?
got our kids.
I agree.
Our kids. Tanner has some friends that, and I've worked with some of Trooper's friends too, to support them and to counsel them.
Good.
Or, if they don't have a father. And so Tanner's got some, and we went out Saturday night last night, and Cade was with us, and he called me about 4 or 5 days ago. And he said, "Hey, if you got a minute, I need to run something by you. I just want to throw it at you." And I called him and I said, "You got time today?" He said, "Nah, it'll be late tonight." This didn't happen. Last night he pulled me aside. He says, "Hey man, thanks for reaching out." He said, "But I kind of worked it out myself." I said, "Well, that kind of happens. You get in a quandary, you put enough time or a little thought into it, it'll come to you. But sometimes you need to bounce it off somebody. So I'm here for you." Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, man. But kids like him, who's 22 years old, I mean, he didn't know what he was going to do at 19 or 20, and I sent him down a path, and he is dug in, and he's digging, he's clawing, he's scratching. Jake, same way. I mean, they're making great money, and they're just on top of the world at 22 years old.
It's exciting.
And they're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And they're doing great. I mean, like, yeah, Cade's a roofer, but technically, yeah, he's an entrepreneur because he's got to get up and hustle every single day. Even though he works under the umbrella of a company, he's still an individual contractor.
What's funny is we had a waiter.
He has to actually
we were
get
at
to
Texas
the
Day
business.
Brazil, and we had
Yeah.
a waiter, server that was, we felt like the same age in their group. And he was on my end of the table, and he's kind of directing everything. Maybe the whole table's here. And at some point, I looked up at him and I said, "Boy, you got it. You got what it takes." I said, "You got fire in your belly, and I like everything I'm hearing." And he just went on. So we ended up connecting him and Kate. He wants to get into real estate, and him and Kate exchanged, bars back and forth. So he's got Kate's number. I think we ended up leaving that guy $150 tip.
Nice.
But that's another thing that Trace has been really, really good about. And that, I mean, like, I mother these kids. They come to our house. I cook for them. I take care of them. And then he's always there for the, kind of the talking points of
I'm into him.
how to
I try to
keep on
shape
moving.
That's
through
your
life.
job.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happened with me when I was at the ranch at 10 years old. We had people from all around the world that would drop in and work for a couple months or a couple years. Australia, New Zealand, Canada. I mean, we had them from England.
Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Coming
people.
No,
in,
just
yeah.
regular
A
people.
lot of people would just
Oh,
be looking
just
for
that
jobs.
happens.
Yeah,
jobs for the summer.
they come over and travel the United States, and they had no place to live, no place
Oh.
to eat. We offered 3 hots and a cot. I mean, we had 25 employees that lived on the ranch and worked there. So I got a lot of older people. One guy was Jim Dean. He was his name was Jim Dean, and he was a
Was he named after Jimmy Dean?
no,
I hope not.
but he was a DJ, a rock and roll DJ in the 50s and the 60s.
No kidding.
And this is the late 70s, early 80s. And he's 65 years old, retired, and he's just living abroad, and he's living there. And boy, you talk about some culture. I got some good stuff.
He's awesome.
I mean,
Major.
We used to go to town. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, he smoked a lot of weed, and he would smoke a joint, and then an ever so crucial follow-up joint. So
Well, how old were you? 10?
15,
Okay.
Prime.
14.
Good time to smoke a little
Oh my
marijuana.
gosh. Well, there's nobody out there. There's absolutely nobody living
So
out
it's
there now.
yeah,
There's
we try to
10,000
get.
people
I
living
try
there.
to get back as much as I can to the younger ones, and trying to push them in the right direction.
That's called being a sage. Mentor for a while, but then sage going but giving it back.
Yep. Well, we
important.
started a foundation to do exactly that because we wanted to do more, and we spent some time with a friend of ours who is a retired veteran, and he's like been rubber stamped with severe PTSD, so the VA
course.
can't do anything for him, and I mean his story is crazy. He's a lone survivor. And he left the military and then ended up being a fire chief in Austin. And he started talking about all these different things, programs that he had tried, and the fact that he was just kind of at the end of his rope because nobody could help him.
Yeah.
Nobody could help him. And he found this alternative program, and he started stepping into that and really getting. I mean,
It's there because
It's controversial.
Psychedelic.
It's ayahuasca, right?
well,
No,
it's
it's just psychedelic
psilocybin and MDMA.
Yeah, it's called Eliminating Heroes.
yeah.
And so our foundation, which is H3 Foundation, and that kind of stands for Hilltop Helping Hands. Hearts that give, hands that help. And we're going to promote that Eliminating Heroes. Tanner's girlfriend is a school teacher now, and the school teachers don't have school supplies, so we're going to help
Well,
that.
that's from the
We
students,
both
yeah.
came from single mothers, and so there was tough times, so we're going to help single mothers. So
Concentrate on single mothers.
or
Good.
all
Well,
of that.
there's multiple layers to that. We definitely want to lean in for the veterans thing, but the sad part is that the whole helping veterans and first responders is super saturated. It's a really hot buzzword topic for a lot of people, and we are talking about a very specific group that's a very thin line of people who are just rubber stamped, basically severe PTSD. The VA says there's nothing else we can
There's
do.
nothing we can do for you.
There's no medication. There's no therapy.
And this is
there's
saving their
nothing.
lives. There's one a day, two a day. That,
I'm glad they're not giving them any
Yeah.
medication.
no, they don't want it. These people, and so yeah, that's the path we're on. now.
That's the thing that we are pursuing. When you said earlier, are you retired? Yeah, we're kind of retired, but that's one of the things that we're pushing
That's
for
amazing.
right now.
But
And
you're
we're
still
gonna use-
doing.
and we're
You're
gonna
still.
use-
You're still grinding.
And we're going to use a smoker to do it
Yeah, that was
To
that
raise
was
money.
another
How- what
nice
does that
thing.
look
to
like?
raise money.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
we'll take it out. and
That's a
do it.
great idea.
Yeah.
And when will you start that?
Well, you just did an event in Austin to feed the homeless not too
Yeah,
long
we
ago.
launched
Yeah, that was
today.
really cool.
Launched in
So
Austin.
I'd gone down
That's
there.
real cool.
I had gone down there to see some comedy shows at the Mothership, and I looked at that town. And
Is
I
that the
said,
name of it, Mothership?
Yeah, Comedy Mothership,
And that's in Austin.
Austin.
I've never been.
Joe
That's
Rogan's
Joe
got it.
Rogan's comedy
That
show.
that's where I've
Yeah.
heard this. I'm like in my head. I'm like,
So
where
I
is
had
that?
been down there, and
It's
I'm,
very
and I'm
successful.
looking at-
Really good people.
I'm looking at all these homeless people, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is atrocious. Why didn't somebody help these people? And then as I'm talking to Randy, our friend that was a fire chief in Austin, he said, the cops and the fire and the police spend their entire days just man down, homeless down.
Helping
And-
homeless people. They don't
And
even.
so what we did, we went in there and we fed 1,000 homeless people from 11 to 2, and we fed first responders from 3 to 9. I blocked off a street right beside the Comedy Mothership, blocked off a whole street. And we
Did you get to meet Joe Rogan?
No.
But that's why.
But he waved at him.
That
He didn't.
Duncan Trussell was one of his friends of 30 years. He came out, and that's where we went and saw last night at Hyenas in Fort Worth.
Oh, who is it? Duncan.
Duncan Trussell.
Duncan Trussell.
Was it good?
Oh my God, it's great.
So it's at Hyenas.
Yeah, he
Kelly,
was.
we got to go do that, y'all.
Yeah.
We got to go do that because I haven't been in years.
Yeah,
Me
we-
neither.
Was Hyenas still pretty fun?
yeah, but you kind of got to know who's there.
Yeah, you do, and sometimes I
yeah,
don't.
like, so, and we really lucked out too because there's a guy named Derek who I met at the Mothership, and he performed there, and they think I'm Ron White at the Mothership.
They always.
They
No,
always-
you do look a lot
They call
like
him that Ron White looking
They called me
motherfucker.
last night. He walked down the stage. He goes, "I'm in the room right here."
It's kind of cool you're
Fuck
Ron
Ron
White.
White right there. What was,
You should have got him and signed autographs.
He remembered.
I think I would have.
Yeah.
He remembered me from
And
Austin.
we
let
could
me tell
actually
you what,
go on
when
the
he goes
road
to the
and you be
mothership
Ron
to
White.
see all these shows, the dude goes in overalls, the cutoff overalls, and
Oh, the ones you
cowboy
always
hat.
I've always seen you wear.
I think
Yes.
that's
I
what
think
I
it
love
was
about
at
you
your
the most.
birthday party. I
Just
think
the
you had that
Oh,
on.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you kind of dressed up for the podcast.
He did. He
I'm really proud
did.
of you.
Put on pants.
He got on a
pantaloons,
poncho and he put on a pair of shorts,
shorts, not jorts.
not jorts.
He'll be wearing those
He
soon
definitely
enough.
has his own style. He is a man.
He
that
does.
knows who
So
he
the
is.
funny thing, Derek, the guy who was on last night, his wife was working the bottom of the barrel, which is a room inside the Comedy Mothership. She seemed to me like she was in charge because she was the one coming up on the stage announcing the next comedian coming up, and but she had a bit. She ended up coming on stage herself, and it's where you write something down on a piece of paper. And all the audience does.
All the
You
audience
send it
gives
up in the
suggestions.
buckets, in the barrel.
Oh,
So-
that's fabulous.
So they pull them out of the
That's
barrel.
why it's so good.
And some guy in the back of the room had said, "Fuck with the guy that looks like Ron White." and she looks it over, she goes, "Who did this?" And the guy back in the back's doing this right here. She goes, "You want me to fuck with the guy right here in the front who best looking guy in the fucking room? By the way, those overalls, do you wear those? Are those a work thing or is that your style?" I looked at her and went, "That's my style." She said, "I kind of figured what she said, by yourself or you with somebody?" I said, "I'm by myself." She said, "You want me to fuck with the guy who got dressed and said, I'm going to the comedy show by myself, nobody else, and gonna sit in the front row."
And wear these clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wear that.
He goes, well, I'm not fucking with him.
I ain't fucking with him.
Is that what happened? They didn't fuck with you?
So that was her husband last night.
Derek.
Derek was her husband, and I caught them later on in the bar, and because I kind of just wanted to talk to him about something, and I asked the questions, and they came back and gave me my answer, and they're married, and she was 9 months, about 8.5, 9 months pregnant, a month and a half ago. And so his bit last night, when he comes on stage, was about him being home for the last 30 days. His wife had the baby with a midwife, and he went through that whole story.
And it was hysterical.
It was raw, and it went in, one thing led to another. He's talking about how he'd been married 10 years before, and it was a great bit. Yeah, it was great.
Why were you by yourself? You didn't go? You didn't want to do it?
Well, the night in Austin.
I don't remember why I was by myself that time. Because
Oh.
Trooper had gone with me.
Well, that
one
was
at a
when
time.
we were down for Kylie's graduation.
Oh.
And the plan had been for me to stay at the hotel with the baby. But Gannon ended up staying home too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she ended up staying too because I don't think at the time
You didn't
think
wanna
she knew
go.
she was pregnant.
I was on a
No, I
mission.
don't want to go.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to feed those homeless people. So I had to do recon. On the street, outside the street. I had to figure it all out. And that's how I did it.
Nope.
By going to the comedy mothership and just talking to people.
Because that's kind of where they were hanging out, a lot of the
Oh,
homeless.
they're all downtown.
Well, they're all over.
on
You
6th
just
Street.
can't
They're
go
everywhere.
No, they're all over 6th Street.
Yeah, and the block,
Congress,
there's a block
they're
over.
in
everywhere, like,
Congress.
even on the
But I
underpasses.
discovered
yeah.
that the block over is a shelter, and I met some people there, and one thing led to another, and bam, just laid it out.
Yeah,
I mean,
it worked out
I
great.
didn't have a plan, and 2 weeks later, I was making it happen.
But what do you think exactly has happened to the homeless? What do you think has caused that?
Well, I think we're sending all of our money to Ukraine and other places, and we're not taking care of our own people. It's been going on for decades.
Decades.
mental
and it's
health.
and it's caught
Yeah,
us.
Vietnam, and then plus they closed all the mental health facilities back in the day when they were beating them all and drugging them and stuff like that. It's just we're not taking care of our people, and that's
Mental
really
health
the
people.
root of this problem. Yeah, it's like these people have things, PTSD. They have, they've got demons, and they just can't. They don't have a good place to work there. I met this really cool lady at the shelter. She's been down there 28 years.
Living to the shelter?
No, she
Works
works at
there.
shelter. She
Oh.
worked for Salvation Army for 18, and then she parlayed into it. And this shelter was invented by, or put together by a guy in California, and the whole concept of it was when people get out of prison, they have a job. They can come work at this shelter or this shelter anywhere in the country. That company. And so that's how it kind of starts. So every employee at the shelter was an ex-convict.
Wow.
And so it
'Cause
gives
that
you,
takes
they don't
That's
have-
cool.
yeah, it's way cool.
I mean, it takes
It's-
away
so
the
I'm
difficulty
gonna
of
go
finding
back.
a job when you know
I'm
you
going
have
to
to
go
have
back. It was so cool. We're going back. Matter of fact, the general manager of the mothership, I did feed everybody in the mothership.
All the
Loaded-
comics, all the employees.
Everybody. Loaded them up. And the general manager sent me a really nice email and said that if we ever do it again, they want to be involved. So somebody like me that just starts something, if I can get them involved, then I can get them involved. And, they all know there's a problem, but nobody's doing anything about it. So the more people we can get on board and get involved about helping that one situation in that one city,
I know.
it's
every
It's
city.
the capital of Texas, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Austin, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Are you
changed.
thinking it's worse than Dallas or Fort Worth?
Well, I
I
don't.
mean, you see it.
we don't know, but I mean, we just
No,
we
they're
just
all-
happened to be in that environment, and when he
LA's
was
bad, too.
inspired to
when
do
you-
it, but
if you just look at the money that we're squandering, look at USAID, what they found out there, all that money in those NGOs. I mean, all that money is just being squandered on political campaigns to get some dimwit elected, some no good piece of crap in office.
Yeah.
Round and about. It's
Yep.
going through 15 or 20 loopholes. But it all goes back, it's just like the sick feeding the sick. I mean,
Yeah, it's bad.
yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
Then I
Yeah.
saw you,
And then that's
your
the
email,
sad
you want to get involved.
Yeah,
so
we would
we'll
love
do it
to.
again. We'll do it in
Yeah.
the fall. I think it's
I'm
gonna,
obsessed with trafficking right now, and
Yeah.
I really want to
That's
figure
a
out how to
huge
get
deal.
involved.
It is.
Oh, it's more. It's bigger than drugs.
Yeah,
It's scary.
it's the new drug.
I
It's
think that
the
if you could,
largest It's
Yes.
the biggest moneymaker for the
Yeah.
cartel.
and this country is the worst.
Oh, our government
Indeed.
is the worst. Democrats.
Well, not necessarily strictly, but I mean, when you
Oh, there's probably Republicans involved too,
oh
but they're all sick.
They're all involved.
They're all.
Everybody,
Politicians in
they're all
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
I don't think it's
because
one
I
of
think
them.
that just by knowing and not doing anything is
It's
You
sickening.
turned your
It's
back.
still,
You turned your
yeah,
back.
it's
You're
still-
wrong.
Do you
You're
follow
still
Sean
knowing.
Ryan?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
I really loved him, and he had
Yeah,
Tim
he's
Tebow
good.
on
He
the other
is
day.
good. Somebody sent me one the other day. I was trying to find it yesterday. I don't know
A
what.
lot of
amazing.
men like to
He's
watch
like
Sean Ryan.
Seal.
Yeah,
He's a
No,
badass.
no, he's good. I do like listening to him.
I like him, but he interviewed Tim
It's
Tebow,
just
and they
not
were
that
I'm gonna
time
watch
yet.
that.
Oh, I want to watch that one too.
I want to hear
It's
it.
very good.
I love
Yeah.
Tim Tebow.
I just scrolled through them all
He walks the
yesterday.
walk.
Yeah.
Well, he's very involved in trafficking right now. He's got a foundation and the work they're trying to do, and it's what kind of turned me on are the girls I work with, these young girls. we're reading one of these erotic thriller books, and it was about trafficking. Was really the underlying story. And when I talked to Laura about it, because I was like, this is obsessive. Like, she's like, they put it out in these medias in a way that you can accept it.
Yeah.
You can,
Think about the
you
milk
can
carton.
associate a story or
Honey.
whatever. Yeah.
Think about the milk carton back in the day.
Yeah.
A kid goes missing, he's on a milk carton. Where the hell is the milk carton today?
Yep.
Yes, and there's no, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And
Nothing.
John Walsh, what's his name? Matt
Yeah.
Walsh? I mean, he used to run stuff all the time, and he's gone.
And it's just, nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
And the horrific things that are happening to these people, and especially children. It's nauseating. And we have to open our eyes and do something about it.
Yeah.
That's
Talk
right.
about it.
And if
Just
you
talk
think
about
it's
it.
not
agree with that
happening around you, you're
100%.
mistaken.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, someone said to me the other day, "Oh, what do you mean underground tunnels and stuff going on?"
Well, it's
I was like,
freaky.
"Where have you been? Like, is it just me? I mean, like, where have you
They
been?"
opened our borders, and we don't even.
Know who's here?
And we know all
We
these
have no
children
idea.
are missing. We know.
We have no
300,000.
idea.
We know they're.
300,000.
It's, ugh. And
Brutal.
your number one offender is a white dad. That's what Tim Tebow's interview was. It was. I was like, about this. I thought Sean Ryan was going to throw up in his chair.
What do you mean? Oh, the number one.
He's at home.
Yeah.
On the computer.
He's gross.
Then he had a guy on that does. He's like a hacker, cyber
Yeah.
dude. And he said, I want to see you go into one of these chat rooms and show me how fast it happens. He makes up.
How about the Dateline guy? You ever
It was
watch him?
he's amazing. But
He's
this
on his
guy
own
went
now.
in and created a little name, Susie 13, something like
Yeah.
that. So to imply her she was 13 or 14, I can't remember. Seconds.
Yeah.
Somebody
Who wants
jumped
to
in.
chat?
I saw it
Seconds.
too.
They're just
I saw that.
coming in, and then he's like, "How old are you?" And they're like, "I'm 35, I'm 40, I'm this, I'm that." They're these grown ass men thinking they're talking to these young girls, and he's showing you how fast that if your kid is on any kind of device,
Yep.
this is what they're subject to.
Do not let your kids get on
not let them on
devices
a
right
device.
now.
No
And-
vaccines, no devices. That's what.
That's
And
all
it's
you
the-
do.
it's
No
the
devices, no
craziest thing
vaccines,
ever.
and you'll be set.
Yep. Well, you'd be better off.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, I've told this story before. The night that it was me and you and Scott, Riley was the only kid with us. Somebody else maybe. We went to Marty B's. It was packed, and we went down to the end of the bar to get a drink. We're waiting, and there was parents and this little, I don't know, probably 3-year-old kid on this big ass iPad sitting at the end of the bar. We're all looking at them, we're all judging them, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And
bad parent.
I think you went back to get the drinks. Like we ordered them, and Trace walks back up there. You just fronts them out. Like, why are you not talking to your kid? Why are you not having a conversation? Why you got this big thing in your kid's face?
I do it.
They didn't know what to. They didn't even know what to say.
He is not a person who he's not afraid to hear the word no, and he's not afraid to hear somebody tell him to fuck off, because he just, I mean,
Well, I mean, it's good. You know,
I mean,
a lot of
I
confidence.
constantly am monitoring myself. Should I be saying that? Is that my business? Do I
Are
need to
you
be
still
saying
doing
something?
that?
Yeah, I think I do it a lot more than I think I do it a lot more than I wish I did.
Didn't you wish you did?
Yeah.
I
Not
think
as
that's
much as-
most
I could be a lot
women.
more
Not as
forward.
much as she used to, but she.
Well, you know, he used to get on me a lot. I mean, like, I listen to him talk to his friends on the phone, and some of the things that they say to each other as men, you know, picking at each other back and forth. I'm like, why do you say that to your friend? That's not being very supportive. Women friends are different than men friends. And he's like, when you don't tell your friends the truth, you're just being a bad friend. And I'm like,
I totally agree with you. Guys, anyway, this has been just awesome. I did not know where this conversation was going. I just knew I wanted you two on. I want to thank you for coming.
we appreciate
Big
you
gratitude.
inviting us.
And this is not going to be our first rodeo. You guys are coming back.
Awesome.
And we're going to go on a fly rodeo trip. Now, these flies have almost killed me.
Not
And you know what?
that
Thank you for
bad.
surviving the fly manifestation.
Not a problem.
Lord of the Flies.
If you'll come back, I don't know, maybe I'll serve you some ribs.
Hey.
No.
No.
I'm a huge rib snob. I don't eat any
I
ribs, which are
love
nuts.
ribs.
And you and Sarah.
If you make me ribs, I will be very happy. How about we do that? And I'll bring the potato salad.
Come on to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm coming to
Come
Colorado.
to Colorado. You love Colorado. I know you love Colorado.
Thank y'all for
already.
coming on. Fully
right.
Erect, thank you for living your life that
Thanks
way.
for having us.
You're very
Love you
welcome.
guys.
We love you.
Love you.